Chapter 523. After reassuring the two old men, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan returned to their usual busy and fulfilling lives. The barbed wire fence that they had spent a lot of money on was put to good use. Countless sharks were attracted by the smell of blood and were then caught. Those that needed to be skinned were skinned, and those that needed to be eaten were eaten. Even the internal organs were not wasted. Li Sun also returned with his bodyguard. He even discussed a business deal with the people from the Yellow River Shipping Company on the mountain. The people from the Yellow River Shipping Company had a good idea in the beginning, but after meeting Li Sun, everything changed. They did not expect Li Sun to rent the good places to them, let alone buy them. He did not directly state how much the normal places cost. According to Li Sun, if no one came, he could not bear to let his business partner lose money. In the end, they didn't need to pay for those seats directly. If a customer really bought something from them or made some other purchases, Li Sun would ask for half of the net profit. Li Sun paid the price by introducing the places that they rented after the tour guide group was formed. Li Sun used all the business knowledge that he had learned from people like Zhang Xiaobao, Wang Wan, Luer, and Xian. He told the people from the Yellow River Shipping Company that as long as they could bring people from other places to Rainbow Falls in the future, they would get 10% of the net profit from each person. Even if the money spent by the people they brought to Rainbow Falls was counted, 10% of the net profit was not a small amount. Other than that, Li Sun also signed a contract with the 12 owners of the Yellow River Shipping Company. No matter what they were selling, all the prices had to be clearly stated. Tourists could buy if they saw the prices and were not allowed to bargain. Moreover, the prices had to be within a certain range. They could not be too low, but they could not be too high. The introduction of every product or entertainment activity had to be made known to the tourists. It had to be written in whatever way it was written. It had to meet the standards. Otherwise, if they scammed them once, they wouldn't come again next time. The detailed content was listed one by one, and it actually took up 10 pages. Almost every detail was considered. At the very least, the people from the Yellow River Shipping Company could not find any loopholes. The proud Li Sun really scared the people of the Yellow River Shipping Company. When did the people of the imperial family learn so many things? This was clearly something that merchants like them should do. Li Sun, who had negotiated the deal, was in a state of excitement. Even if there were no tourists yet, even if this place belonged to Lingnan, he was still full of confidence, waiting for a large number of rich people to come and spend money. The people from the 5 Lakes Merchant Guild who went to look for fish had yet to return. The fish raised by the commoners were slowly growing. They dug a big hole, filled it with water, and threw the fish in. Then, they put in some duck dung and pig dung. That was it. No one fed them food. At most, they would put the leftover pig bones in a net and let the fish drink some oil. This was already a good life. Zhang Xiaobao did not take them seriously at all. It was not a bad idea to let them slowly spend their time here. According to Zhang Xiaobao, these people had to spend money in Luzhou, and it would delay their work. Otherwise, if they formed a caravan, they would be able to make a lot of money these days. What surprised Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan was that 33 ships came in the past few days. They were not big ships, just medium-sized ships. Such ships were not small, and they were taking a big risk. After learning that these people came from the east of Jiangnan, both of them expressed their understanding. The merchants from Fujian and Zhujiang were indeed amazing. In order to make money, they dared to use medium-sized ships to form a caravan. The goods carried by the 33 medium-sized ships were not enough to fill 4 big ships. The height, length, draft, and the width of the top deck of the ships were more than half of the big ships. The difference in size was not small at all. Normally speaking, the cargo of 15 medium-sized ships would be enough to fill up a large ship, but the other party could fill up 4 large ships with just 3 ships. Strong, really strong. This is what a real businessman is like. For the sake of profit, they are willing to abandon many things. Not to mention that the number of people rowing on each ship is reduced by half, they are actually eating fried noodles, and the amount of water they drink every day is controlled over and over again. They don't have an extra change of clothes, all for the sake of being able to carry more goods on board. The most important thing is that they are here to pick up all kinds of goods, and not much of each kind. No wonder people in this kind of place can make a lot of money no matter what era it is. This is a spirit that can't be extinguished. Xiao Bao, do you want to cooperate with them? After understanding the situation of this caravan, Wang Wan sighed. We can't suppress such people. We don't have so much energy to waste on dealing with them. Sell them a few big ships or rent them. We don't have to pay them first. Let them save up for the next 6 months. Half a year later, we'll tell them the route to Luzon. Zhang Xiaobao agreed. He held a coconut and drank it. This thing was not very sweet. If it was not cold, the taste was not much different from water. Thinking about it, if it was too sweet, it could not be injected into the human body as an injection. The people of Hainan Island did not drink this water at all. They cooked with the meat of the coconut. Zhang Xiaobao, Wang Wan and their family drank this thing to replenish some trace elements. Lizhou Prefecture also had some, but the output was a little lower. The two of them hadn't had the time to focus on producing those good things. Once the situation here stabilized, as long as there were rivers in the Great Tang, they would be able to produce all sorts of coconut products. Seeing Zhang Xiaobao drinking, Wang Wan also took a few sips. She said to Zhang Xiaobao, "Do you think that if carbon dioxide was added to this coconut juice, it would be good to make a drink? I haven't drunk it before. When I have the ability in the future, I can try it. I think the taste should be different." Zhang Xiaobao tried hard to imagine what would happen if the coconut juice was mixed with carbon dioxide. Compared to soda water, would it be sweeter? It would also be more acidic. Forget it, let's not talk about this. In the future, if we are far away, we won't be able to drink coconut juice. We can't plant it in other places. I can't copy Yang Guifei and use the military station to deliver coconuts. Back to business, you are not cooperating with them just to make a fortune over there, right? Wang Wan sucked the last bit of water out of the coconut and stuffed the whole thing into Zhang Xiaobao's arms. Zhang Xiaobao smiled mysteriously. They won't only develop there. As long as we give them a chance, they will think of a way to find a better trade route. This way we can relax. There is strength in numbers. It would be best if they could go to Malugia. Chapter 524. In the midst of everyone's anticipation and anxiety, midsummer finally arrived. In the past few days, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan put aside all their work and stayed at home. Zhang Zhong also tried his best to hand over his work to others. He also accompanied his wife who was waiting for delivery at home. Zhang Xiaobao's mother and Wang Wan's mother were pregnant at the same time. It was as if they were two different people. Xiaobao, is this a coincidence? Will they give birth to another child at the same time, just like us? Wang Wan found it very interesting. She heard that she and Zhang Xiaobao were born at about the same time, and they were also found to be pregnant on the same day. Zhang Xiaobao did not know how to guess. When he heard Wang Wan's question, he replied, "Who cares? We're going to have a younger brother or sister soon. We'll make a cradle and a baby carriage." The two of them were no longer worried about their mother's younger brother or sister. After the delivery room was repaired, they had delivered many women in succession, including a few twins. The doctors in the delivery room had accumulated a lot of experience. In addition, it was not the mother's first time, and she usually took good care of her body. Although the child might be a little smaller, it would not be strenuous when it was born. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's mothers were in a very good mood at this time. They were not in a hurry at all. Every day, they would ask someone to accompany them for a walk, waiting for the day when the child was born. In order to make sure that their younger brother or sister would not lack milk, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan specially found a cow that had just given birth. It was not an authentic cow, but it was fine as long as it had milk. They also asked a craftsman to carve a milk bottle out of glass and made a nipple with a kind of gum. When the time came, they would stuff it in and the baby would drink it by himself. All the preparations were done, and they were just waiting for the child to be born. When the people of Luzhou heard about this, they came to ask about it. Those who were further away also tried to find a way to ask the caravan from there. Everyone was looking forward to the birth of a new life. The merchants who worked with Lu Zhou's Chamber of Commerce brought out gifts as well. Before the children were born, they had already attracted the attention of tens of thousands of people. Everyone who had a good relationship with the Zhang family gave them their blessings in their hearts. As for those who had been bullied by Zhang, it was unknown whether they were vile or not. The people who went to Hainan Island also came back and put the matter aside for the time being. They would wait until the child was born. There was no big deal there. The people who were sent communicated very well with the local people. There was a small problem when they were going to build the dock there, but it was solved very quickly. The local people and the original residents agreed to help build the pier after receiving benefits from the Zhang family. However, the local official, who usually didn't get much money and always complained about the hot weather, refused to help. How could the people in the inner courtyard of the Zhang family not know what these officials were thinking? It was just that they didn't have the ability to make money, so they felt it was unfair to see others making money. This matter was simple. Wasn't it just money? As long as they were not deliberately hostile, the problem of money was not a problem. The people in the inner courtyard immediately offered benefits. Every time a ship docked there, they would pay a fee according to the size of the ship, and the final half of the fee would be given to the local official. Half was only 1/20. It didn't sound like much, but when the business there really thrived, this money would not be a small amount. Therefore, the local official agreed to help build the pier. Compared to the Ning family in Qin province, these officials didn't have much influence in the local area. Apart from the officials who were recommended by the local people and given a title by the imperial court, the rest were sent to your province. Although they were officials, they didn't have a good life at all. The local residents were basically disobedient, and the people who moved there later were not as honest as those who lived in rich places. Many of the annual taxes could not be collected, and even the tribute was not enough. After all, the people didn't have a good life. In the past, the people were used to it and didn't care who was an official. However, after Zhang Zhong came to Lu Zhou and the local people learned about the living conditions of the people in Lu Zhou, they no longer paid attention to it. They also wanted to live a good life. In the past, the people in Lu Zhou were poor and could tolerate it. However, after the people in Lu Zhou had a good life and could eat meat every few days if they wanted to, they stopped. They found that the poverty here was not because the place was not good, but because of the officials. In particular, when the amusement park was built, the fishermen in your province deliberately came to take a look. Last month, the children of 2 tribes were even invited to play here for a few days. Naturally, the tribes sent warriors to protect them. After playing for a few days, they ate, drank, and lived well. As soon as they returned, they told everyone about it. In a very short time, the people on such a big island knew how good Lu Zhou's place was. Therefore, when the officials stopped the Zhang family from building a dock here, in addition to the benefits given by the Zhang family, there was also pressure from the local people. Although the people in your province were not very literate and were relatively ignorant in many places, they were also reasonable. They knew that Zhang Zhong, a high-ranking official, would not come to their place. Now that there was a dock, they would naturally have more contact with him in the future. Ignorance also had its benefits. After knowing about Zhang Zhong's ability, they were very superstitious that as long as they had a little relationship with Zhang Zhong, they would be able to benefit from it. Except for the small trouble encountered halfway after the construction of the transit station was completed, there was nothing else. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not think about the scam of the 5 Lakes Chamber of Commerce after a brief explanation. Now, they had received benefits. The fish caught by the 5 Lakes Chamber of Commerce were raised in several large ponds on Lu Zhou's island. Moreover, they did not allow people from other places to visit. Before Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's mother gave birth, the first trade was made. Until now, the 2 of them did not know what the fish was called. Even though Zhang Xiaobao had eaten a lot of things at that time, he could not recognize it now. He did not know if it had mutated or gone extinct at that time. The growth rate of this fish was extremely fast. A small fry could grow up in just a few months. Back then, it could even lay eggs. It was no wonder that the 5 Lakes Merchant Association brought it over. If they did that, it would give the local people more confidence. Usually, fish would lay eggs according to the season. This kind of fish was determined by their size. As long as they grew up, they would lay eggs. Of course, if there were no males, the eggs would not turn into small fish. The big fish that the people of the Five Lakes Chamber of Commerce brought last time had already laid eggs. In the end, they still had to wait for the small fish to grow up. The people of the Zhang family who followed the people of the Five Lakes Chamber of Commerce asked around and specifically found smaller fish. They secretly brought them back. After some of them died, the others started to lay eggs in large quantities. In the few large ponds, when the fish were about to lay eggs, they would think of ways to fish them out and put them in special places to prevent the eggs from being eaten. When Zhang Wang clan and Wang Wan's mother entered a small courtyard next to the delivery room and waited, the dozens of people who bought the fish found the people of the Five Lakes Chamber of Commerce and told them that it was time to collect the fish eggs. The people of the Five Lakes Chamber of Commerce were already under a lot of pressure. The Tang governor of Ning was very dissatisfied with them. If it were not for the fact that they were further away and there was no one else to replace them, the Tang governor of Ning would have been replaced. The main reason was that the people of Qin province were not having a good time. Not to mention that the task of reclamation was not completed, they did not even plant all the crops. Today's production would be affected, and the Ning family would not be able to earn a lot of money. At this time, when they found out that the dozens of people already had fish eggs, the people of the Five Lakes Chamber of Commerce thought of advertising. If it was in the past, they could only send people to various places to spread the news. Now, they also knew about the advertising. They specifically found a branch of the Luzhou Chamber of Commerce that was in charge of advertising and took out money to advertise. It would be best if they could get the people nearby to take a look. The advertising department originally did not have this kind of business, but seeing that the Five Lakes Chamber of Commerce had taken out more money, they agreed. Early in the morning, everyone went to the pond with the fish eggs. The people of the Five Lakes Chamber of Commerce were very excited. According to their original guess, if the fish eggs produced could let the people earn back 20 to 30% of the money they spent to buy the fish, it would be good enough. When the time came, the people who saw the fish eggs would eagerly take out money to buy the fish. As long as they could survive this year, they would be able to scam even more money next year. That was also the time for them to leave. They really could not afford to wait. When they arrived at the place, there were indeed many commoners gathered around. There were at least 1,000 people. When the people from the Five Lakes Merchant Association arrived, they immediately sent over the samples for them to examine. Were these fish eggs able to be harvested under the same circumstances? The people of the Five Lakes Chamber of Commerce looked at the fish eggs and found that they were indeed the fish eggs they brought over. As long as they were the same, they did not care about the quality. Even if it was not good, they had to say it was good. Otherwise, how could they scam the people? The samples of the fish eggs passed and were placed at the side for comparison. Following that, the dozen or so families brought the people of the Five Lakes Chamber of Commerce to the edge of the pond. The pond was very shallow, and there was fine sand at the bottom. The water was clear, and they could clearly see the situation inside. Master Yen, it's here, they're all here. According to the original agreement, there are about 6,000 fish eggs in the pond. Master Yen, do you want to fish them out and take a closer look? The dozen or so families asked the head of the Five Lakes Chamber of Commerce with a smile. This person from the Zhang family was in charge of their business, and the person from the Zhang family wanted to help them negotiate. When the people of the Five Lakes Chamber of Commerce heard this, it took them a while to recover from their shock. When they looked at the fish eggs in the pond, they were all dumbfounded. Master Yen pointed at the fish eggs in the pond and asked in disbelief, "All of them? Why are there so many? Isn't it good? Didn't Master Yen say it before? He said that using fish eggs can make a lot of money. If we have more fish eggs, we'll have more money in the future. Isn't that the logic?" The person from the Zhang family congratulated the Five Lakes Chamber of Commerce as he spoke. The people of the Five Lakes Chamber of Commerce did not know what to say. That was what they said before, but the problem was that they were lying. Who would have thought that just a dozen or so families would have to fork out more than 6,000 strings of money? How many times was that? They could only stand there and deal with the people from the Zhang family. The smiles on their faces were no longer the same as before. The dozen or so families had already been arranged by the Zhang family. Now, they were smiling at the people from the Five Lakes Chamber of Commerce, waiting for them to take out the money. The surrounding people also looked at the people from the Five Lakes Chamber of Commerce. It seemed that they were considering whether to buy as well. At this time, Master Yan's sweat had almost dried up. He knew that there were many eyes looking at him. If he did not take out the money this time, then no one would buy any more. But if he took out the money, and there were not many people buying in the future, then wouldn't he lose money? Most importantly, how could the fish produce so many eggs? That's not right. According to the current situation, he would have to pay even more next time. Thinking of this, Master Yen smiled at one of the dozen or so families and asked, "How do you raise the fish? It's really not bad to be able to produce so many eggs. Then, can these eggs be exchanged for money?" The person who was asked rhetorically. "Yes, I'll get someone to send the money over in a moment. You have so many fish eggs, we can also earn money. How do you raise the fish?" Master Yen did not give up and asked again. "Just like what you said. Then can we go take a look at the fish? We've eaten all of them. We're waiting for you to give us new fish. That fish is more delicious." "If I had known earlier, I would have left 2 for you, Master," the person replied with a smile. "You've eaten? Oh, that's right. New fish will be sent over soon. Did everyone see that? With this kind of fish, as long as you have a string of coins, you can get 6,000 strings of coins in the end. 2 strings of coins, that's 12,000 strings of coins. Is there anyone else who wants to raise them? Come to me." Master Yen had no other choice. This should be the last chance. He could not wait for the next round of fish eggs. Since there were so many people now, he could help advertise more. As long as everyone was tempted by Lu Zhou's offer, he could still make a profit. Even if only 30% of the people were willing to buy, it would be fine. He thought that there would be a lot of people coming over immediately. In the end, the people around him were all standing there. No one came forward at all. When he saw that no one was coming, Master Yen was a little dumbfounded. He asked the people from the Zhang family who came over, "Are they complaining that they don't earn enough?" "No, they haven't seen the money yet." The people from the Zhang family signaled to Master Yen to let him understand that if the money was not brought over, no one would continue to buy. Master Yen was enlightened. "Oh, right, money. Men, hurry up and bring the money over." As soon as he said that, someone immediately went over to get the money. This was not what they wanted, but the Yamen runners had already surrounded them. If they did not pay up, they would be arrested. At that time, the money they brought would also be confiscated. Now, the people from the Five Lakes Chamber of Commerce were in a difficult situation. Each of them was very regretful. If they had not agreed so readily and said that they wanted to take a good look at the fish eggs, they could have said that the things here were not good and tried their best to lower the price or even refuse to buy. However, they did not know that there would be so many fish eggs. In a moment of haste, they agreed. There was no difference between the fish eggs in the pond and there. They did not dare to go back on their words at this time. Everyone waited for more than 2 hours before the 6,000 strings of coins were finally brought over. The fish eggs of more than a dozen families were placed in the same pond. It was not good to ask each family how much they had, so they directly gave the money and let them divide it among themselves. Once the money was exchanged, Master Yen took this opportunity to immediately say to the surrounding people, "See? The money has been given. As long as you have the money, you can get 6,000 strings of coins. What are you waiting for? Buy it now. When the next year, when the eggs are laid, you can buy whatever you want. Wear new clothes as you please and eat meat every day." He, who was not good with words, was forced to the point that he had no other choice. As he spoke, he looked at the surrounding people. He thought that the people who were watching the show would rush over in an uproar. Who would have thought that the people who were looking forward to seeing the money would all rush to the side of the dozen families and congratulate them when they saw that the money was in their hands. After congratulating them, they turned around and left one by one. Everyone, please wait. This is a business that can make a lot of money with just a little bit of money. Everyone, please don't leave." Seeing the people disperse in all directions, Master Yen was really anxious this time. He even ran over to pull on a person's sleeve and advised that person. Not buying. I have no money and no place. My house is on the other side of the mountain. The person who was pulled struggled to break free and left after saying that. How can this be? How can this be? Master Yen was even more dumbfounded. He felt that today's matter was too simple, but the result was unexpected. The other people from the Five Lakes Merchant Association were also stunned. The 6,000 strings of coins were gone, the advertising fee was gone, and their mission was not completed. Wasn't everything fine just now? How did it change in the blink of an eye? After waiting for the surrounding people to disperse, the person from the Zhang family shook his head and said to Master Yen, "My house is busy with other things. I don't have time to play with you. This time, I will teach you a lesson. Go back and tell your master to correct your thoughts." What? What are you saying? I don't understand. When Master Yen heard the words of the Zhang family, sweat seeped out again. He felt his vision darken and he almost fell. He was in a daze for a moment before he stood up and pretended not to understand. It's fine if you don't understand. As long as you know that my house is not free, I will let you go. Otherwise, this time, I will sell you less fish eggs and buy a few dozen strings of coins. When the little fish grows up, it will not be just a matter of 6,000 strings of coins. Let's go. We agreed that the Zhang family will vouch for them. Now that you have so many fish eggs, you can go back and split them. The person from the Zhang family completely ignored the other party's pretense. After saying this, he carefully walked back. The Yamen runners also surrounded them and escorted the people from the Five Lakes Merchant Association back to the Luzhou Merchant Association so that they could split the money. If the people from the Five Lakes Merchant Association still wanted to play dumb before, they were no longer in the mood now. It was obvious that the Zhang family had seen through them. It's over, the people from the Five Lakes Merchant Association thought at the same time. They understood the words of the Zhang family. They heard that the two madams of the Zhang family and the Wang family were going to have children soon. Therefore, they did not have the leisure to play with them here. So it turned out that they had been schemed against. What kind of bullshit idea was that? It had just started, but it was already over. Not only did they not get any money, but they also had to pay a lot of money. What should they do? Big brother, what do we do? Do we just go back like this? Won't the master skin us alive? A person beside Master Yen thought of the consequences and asked with a trembling voice. Master Yen had no other choice. He was still very grateful to the Zhang family. To be more precise, he was grateful to the two madams of the Zhang family and the Wang family. If they were not busy now, and the Zhang family really did what that person said just now, he and the others would not only have to pay a few thousand strings of coins. It was very likely that the Ning family would be implicated as well. They did not have the time to care about other things now. It was said that the two madams were pregnant with 2 babies. Huff. Master Yen exhaled heavily. He looked at the people beside him and said, "Let's go back. Give the Zhang family the money and leave this place immediately. Don't be afraid. If the master knows about Lu Zhou, he won't blame us. He will only complain that the family's idea was bad." Oh. The few of them agreed at the same time. However, in their hearts, they were thinking, was it really a bad idea? When they first found out about this idea, they thought that everyone in the family was as powerful as immortals. This method could be used to deceive everyone. However, when it came to Lu Zhou, it was different from what they imagined. It seemed that the Zhang family's business was not simple. Otherwise, how could they know that they were here to deceive them? Big brother, I don't think it's good to go back like this. Why don't we take a detour to Lianzhou and take a look? Could it be that Lianzhou could see through it? We still have some money. Let's find something faster. No matter what, we have to get back the money we lost. One of the people in the group obviously did not want to lose money. He was afraid that they would be punished when they went back. As soon as he said that, the eyes of everyone in the group, including Master Yen, lit up. They agreed with this idea. Okay, let's do that. Not only Lianzhou, after we're done deceiving Lianzhou, we'll continue to deceive other places. We just have to avoid the Zhang family's business and avoid them. Master Yan said excitedly. He looked at the people who followed him and saw them nodding. He waved his hand and led them to Lu Zhou's Chamber of Commerce. At this time, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not go far. The two of them were reading under the shade of a tree in the courtyard. Today's matter had been arranged, and they were waiting for the other side's reply. If the people of the Five Lakes Chamber of Commerce dared to not pay up, they would be directly arrested. Little young master, little miss, they've paid. They've paid 6,000 strings of coins. It should have been more, but we didn't have time to check carefully. Even if they paid 6,000 strings of coins, our Chamber of Commerce can still take another share. A person rushed in from outside and reported happily to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Good, it's good that they've paid. I don't have time to accompany them. There are still important things waiting for me to do. Zhang Xiaobao stopped and said. Little young master is right. But, little young master, they seem to want to deceive other places. Should we remind them of other places? The person asked again. Chapter 525. At this time, Wang Wan also stopped. She looked up at the person who reported and asked, They're going to other places? Did they say where they're going? They said that they're going to Lianzhou first. They'll go to other places after that. If they continue to cheat like this, then others will be at a disadvantage, especially the local people. Should we arrange for people to follow them? The person who reported was a little anxious. No need. Let them cheat. We can't be in charge of everything. It's good to be at a disadvantage. In the future, they'll know that they can't take advantage of small things. Wang Wan waved her hand, disagreeing with the idea of telling others. Zhang Xiaobao also agreed with Wang Wan's idea. He said, That's it. Don't worry about them anymore. Our ship has been out for a long time. Send people to Yazhou to see if they're coming back soon. Zhang Xiaobao not only wanted to let other people know about this kind of trickery, but also to find trouble for the Ning family in Yazhou. As long as this group of swindlers continued to cheat, the local authorities would not agree and would send out a warrant to arrest them. When this happened in every province, he would have people tell the Ning family about the Five Lakes Chamber of Commerce and the Ning family. He would see what the Ning family would do then. When the person who came saw that the young master and young lady did not agree with spreading the news in advance, he did not say much. He directly agreed and left to arrange for people to go to Yazhou to take a look. Soon. When winter comes, it'll probably be the moment my father leaves. I hope that the people who go to Luzon Island will bring back good news. It'll be best if there's a fight. That way, it'll be easier. Zhang Xiaobao put down the book in his hand and leaned back. He looked at the small bridge in the courtyard and said. Wang Wan closed the book and thought for a while. Then there's going to be a war. Time flies. The next step is to follow Li Sun to another place. I hope everything will go smoothly. When the fast boat sent by Lu Zhou arrived at Yi province, the children of the Zhang family were also born. As expected, they were twins. They were born without any thrill. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's mothers began their confinement period. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan began to play with their younger brother and sister. It was a very miraculous thing. They were really born at the same time. Less than an hour apart, they each gave birth to a boy and a girl. This was a pair of twins. The Zhang family's son came out first and became the older brother. The Wang family's sister came out first. The Zhang family's son came out half an hour earlier than the Wang family's daughter, and the Wang family's son came out half an hour earlier than the Zhang family's daughter. The Zhang family had the oldest and youngest child, and the Wang family's two children were in the middle. When the children were born, they were very ugly. Their skin was wrinkled. It was estimated that they would be much better after a month. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan felt that their younger brother and sister were no different from the children of monkeys. Their skin was wrinkled, and their eyes were closed tightly. As soon as they were born, they cried hard. After they were cleaned up, they immediately went to sleep. They didn't even have time to drink milk. The two adults were tired and rested with their men. The baby products that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan prepared were put to use at this time. They held two children in their arms and watched. Wang Wan gently kissed the face of the child she was holding and said to Zhang Xiaobao, "Xiaobao, why do I feel like I'm planting rice? I'm looking forward to seeing the seedlings slowly grow up." Zhang Xiaobao also had the same feeling. He held his younger brother and sister, and the idea in his heart was to let them grow up well and teach them more knowledge. He thought for a moment and said, "It's like this. Very few people are different from ordinary people. In fact, basically everyone has a desire to cultivate others, or to cultivate other things. For example, many children like dolls. In fact, they use this idea in their hearts on their dolls." At that time, there were people who raised all kinds of pets when their children were not by their side. In fact, they raised those little animals as their children. But we can't do that. That's a kind of destruction to the children. When adults raise children, sometimes they feel that the children are cute. Many times, in fact, they don't respect a new life. Instead, they treat the child as an extension of themselves. They want the child to listen to them and let the child do what they can't do. Ah, what do you mean? Does this mean that many parents are actually raising animals like raising children? Or rather, raising children like raising animals? Oh, that's right. I've seen many parents like that. They only think that what they say is right because they have experience. But in fact, things are not like that. In fact, every child has their own ideas when they are sensible. It's just that they are in a kind of confusion. I understand what you mean. Our younger brother and sister are not the continuation of our lives, but the continuation of human lives. When the time comes, they will have their own path to walk, and not listen to what others say. But if we don't tell them what we know early on, are we going to let them figure it out by themselves? This problem is really too complicated. If we teach too much, it will naturally bring in the subjective ideas of the teacher. Wang Wan understood, but felt that it was not good to directly define this matter. In that case, would they not teach children in the future? Zhang Xiaobao did not have a conclusion on this matter. After thinking about it, he said, "Then let's do it this way. When the time comes, we will find a few more teachers. In this way, the children will be able to get what they need from different people instead of continuing the life of one person. The two of us are the same. We will summarize the knowledge and let them choose for themselves. In fact, there can be amazing people in every profession. As long as they are willing to learn, we will encourage them, not restrict them. What I need is a younger brother and sister with their own unique personalities, not obedient yes-men. Look at so many students who are very obedient when they are learning in school, but the proportion of real achievements in the future can't compare to lively and hard-working people. Well, let's try listening to you for now. Should we beat the children?" Wang Wan asked again. "That's not necessary. When the children are too young, they are not so sensible. We can use all kinds of things to attract them. Beating won't solve the problem. It's just a way to be lazy, and it's very useful at a certain stage. But when the children are 4 or 5 years old, we can't continue to beat them. In particular, we can't vent our anger on the children just because we are in a bad mood. That will easily cause the children to fall into confusion. They won't know what they did wrong. When they grow up and gradually understand, the position of the parent who beat the children for no reason will drop to a very low level in the children's hearts. The children will look down on them. Of course, I'm referring to our era. I don't know how it will be like here. Anyway, I don't agree with using violence. We can spend more effort to use other methods." Zhang Xiaobao had never been beaten when he was young. The dean's grandfather was always able to find ways to make the children in the courtyard obedient. That kind of spiritual sacrifice was the most respectable. Then let's do that. Now, it's time to return the children. I don't know if my mother and your mother have enough milk. I don't think milk is better than human milk. Wang Wan felt that the two children were uncomfortable. When they were about to cry, she put the two children down. She waited for the two children to get rid of their feces and urine. After changing the urinal pads, the two children were about to cry. After changing the urinal pads, they smacked their lips and stopped. Zhang Xiaobao's side was about the same. When the two of them saw their younger brother and sister smacking their lips, they hurriedly sent them to their mothers. Otherwise, they would cry again. The children were young and drank milk very frequently. Zhang Xiaobao's and Wang Wan's mothers held their children in their arms. Their faces were full of motherly radiance. When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan saw that their younger brother and sister had started to drink milk, they went to prepare food for their mothers. In addition to pig's knuckles, which had always been good for drinking milk, they also had to prepare some other food. Otherwise, the more they ate, the more uncomfortable they would feel, especially eggs. Many people would feel disgusted when they saw eggs in the future because of their confinement. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't want their mothers to be unable to eat eggs in the future. Fortunately, the two of them didn't have anything to do at that time. All kinds of things that could replenish protein were prepared by the two of them. There were fish, vegetables, and bean products. Fruits couldn't be left out. The ventilation system in the house had to be made clear. There were also various toys prepared for the four children. They had to be able to play with them without hurting the children. The best thing was shark's fin. After steaming it and drying it, they would give it to the children to play with. After all, children always like to stuff things into their mouths. It was no problem to stuff it into their mouths. There were also those balls made of cow's bubble or pig's bubble. When the time came, they would throw the four children into the pile and they wouldn't be afraid of them getting hurt. The baby carriage was also ready. There was a cartoon-like sunshade on the top. It was made of wood, and the bottom support and rolling places were made of iron. The places where the children could touch were smeared with thick fish glue for them to chew on. The bottom of the carriage was also equipped with iron plates to reduce the formation. The four children, who didn't know anything at all, enjoyed things that others couldn't enjoy as soon as they were born. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan tried their best. After considering all the things that could be considered clearly, they asked about the situation in Yazhou. The news hadn't come back yet, so they could only ask about the situation in Yazhou. The person in charge of the situation there was called to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's courtyard. As soon as he came in, he saw the two of them busy making things there. Anyway, they weren't in a hurry, so he just stood there and watched. This wheel is too small. Change it to a bigger one. Moreover, the balls inside don't seem to work. It's strenuous to push, Wang Wan said to Zhang Xiaobao as she moved a wheel with her hand. Zhang Xiaobao nodded. It's indeed a little small. This won't do. Children don't have much strength to begin with. If the rotation is bad, when will they learn to walk? Only then did the person who came over know that the young master and young lady were making something that could teach the child how to walk. This was very strange. Usually, didn't the adults put the child on the ground and let the child walk on his own with two hands supporting him? Was there anything else that could replace that? Zhang Xiaobao asked the person next to him to find a better wheel. He and Wang Wan started to make the frame. In fact, it was a circle. Cloth was used to make a bag that could hold the children. There were 3 frames to support it. Below the frames were naturally the wheels that could be turned back and forth. The height of the frames could be adjusted. When the children were placed in the middle and fixed, both of their feet could touch the ground. There were several fun things hanging on the circle. The children didn't have to be afraid of falling in the middle. When they saw something fun, they could reach out and grab it. As long as the upper body moved, the center of gravity would change. The small car would move with the change of center of gravity. The children stayed in the car. When the car moved, they would either lift their feet or walk on the ground step by step. This couldn't be used too early. It was about 6 months or 7 months. It depended on the growth of the body. When the children were 2 months old, in order to see more fun things in other places, the children would push the circle next to them to move around. It was a very simple and very practical tool. Xiao Bao, do you think this can be changed again? When our younger brother and younger sister are a little older and can walk, when they are ready to run, we can tie a bigger and slightly softer thing to them and let them practice running." Wang Wan looked at the walking cart that was about to be completed and asked Zhang Xiaobao for his opinion. "There's no need, right? When they are older, I will spend money to buy more gum and isinglass. Then, I will build a place for them to play. It will be like a rubber playground. They can run around and they won't have to be afraid of falling down. Also, we have to remove all the dangerous things in the place where they play. It doesn't matter if they scratch their skin, but it won't do if their lives are in danger." Zhang Xiaobao had already made a decision in his heart and said his thoughts. Wang Wan thought for a moment and said, "Then we will always protect them in the future? Not let them face any danger?" "Of course not. They will have to fly on their own. When they are young, we will first lay a good foundation for their bodies. When they are 6 or 7 or 8 years old, they will be able to do things on their own. They can run however they want. The prerequisite is that there must be someone watching from the side, unless they are a little older." Zhang Xiaobao was actually very helpless about this matter. He wanted to let his younger brothers and sisters experience training, but he was also afraid that something would happen to them. He was not as ruthless as Old Eagle. Those who could fly would either fall to their deaths or drown. He had to give them more chances. The humans on his side did not have to live in such a cruel environment. When the walking cart was finished, the person who had come to talk about the matters in Yazhou came forward. At the same time, he carefully sized up this fun thing and marveled at the ingenuity of the young master and young lady. The two of them had actually thought of such a thing. In the past, who would specially make such a thing? "Tell me, how is the docks there? How is the relationship with the local people? And have the officials there made trouble for us?" Zhang Xiaobao washed his hands and asked the person who had come over. Replying to the young master, "There are now many people there who stop at the docks when they return from the sea. They all say that the docks are good. At least they don't need to drag the boats back and forth. Otherwise, when they went ashore, they would have to drag the boats up, wasting time and energy. With the docks, they can directly dock the boats at the side. When they want to come out, they just need to untie the mooring rope. Even if there is a strong wind, there is no need to worry that the boats will be blown up and damaged. They can stay in the specially prepared troughs at the docks and are very stable. The local officials also have nothing to do. They are waiting for the boats to return so that they can get their 50% bonus. We have sent them daily necessities, and they are very happy. Young master, you don't need to worry about them. If they are not locals, they are people who were sent over. The locals have little experience, and the people who were sent over have no backing. They don't dare to offend us. The fleet has been out for 3 months. Logically speaking, if the distance is not too far, they should be back soon. This time, the people who were sent out will tell the people who stayed at the docks to quickly send the news here as soon as the boats return." The person in charge of this matter explained the situation at the side. "That's good. 3 months. How far is that place? It used to be a few hours." Zhang Xiaobao nodded and muttered to himself. The person in charge didn't know what he meant and couldn't hear clearly. Wang Wan, however, understood that Zhang Xiaobao was talking about taking a plane. How could it be compared to this? It would be over directly in the sky. Now there were waves, strong winds, submerged reefs, and so on. It was very easy for something to happen. They had to be very careful along the way. Not to mention 3 months, even if they had to wait for half a year, it wouldn't be strange. Just as they were thinking about this, the sound of running came from outside. As the sound approached, a figure appeared and said happily to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, "Young master, young lady, the fleet is back. They also brought back a lot of things. Even the people over there were brought back." "Back? So fast?" Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan stood up at the same time and rushed outside. They wanted to see how the people were doing. As for what the items were, it was not important. After waiting for a while, the two of them changed horses and rushed to the dock. Sure enough, they saw 7 big ships anchored there. The people on them were moving things down. 7 boats, no less, no less. That's great. Let's go and see if the people are missing. Zhang Xiaobao urged the horse to rush over. When he stopped at the docks, he directly asked the people below. This time, 500 people went over. Is there anyone who didn't come back? Little young master, we are all back. Not one of us is missing. Only 2 of us were injured and beaten up by the locals. When we went over, we wanted to use the cotton cloth we made here to exchange for things with them, including jars and so on. But they actually attacked us as soon as we arrived. Fortunately, we were prepared and killed a few of them directly. When they saw that we were powerful, they scattered and ran away. Later, we suppressed them and they didn't dare to move. Only then did we exchange some things. It was 5 boats worth of things, various kinds of oars, and animal fur and so on. This all was found by us and let them exchange it. This time we came back and caught a few people. They were the people of the tribe that attacked us. It was because we defeated them that the other tribes became a little more honest. But we always felt that they were not friendly enough to us, even when we exchanged things with them. The people below immediately began to report to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. They were very excited when they told them everything. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't care what they gained. Those things were inevitable. Even if they couldn't exchange it this time, it would be the same next time. The most important thing was that the people on the boats didn't die. Another relatively important thing was that when the war broke out, whether it was with tribes or with other countries, it was a war anyway. At first, this was what they thought. But things went even more smoothly. They didn't need to exchange things first and then let them attack. They actually attacked directly. This was a good excuse. Someone, go and find young Master Li. This time, it's time for him to do something. Considering the situation on the other side, Zhang Xiaobao ordered. He and Wang Wan went down and praised the people who followed them one by one. Li Sun came quickly. He had known about this plan long ago. Recently, he had been very annoyed. Last time, he wrote a letter back and asked his family to help him delay. But now, he couldn't delay it anymore. A few days ago, he wrote a letter and mentioned this matter. Now, they were back, and the people of Tang were beaten. Under the heavens, no one dared to beat the people of Tang. They couldn't be easily forgiven. He rode a horse to the place and asked directly, Xiao Bao, did they fight? Ah, they fought. That's great. I'll write a letter back. Now, as a member of the royal family, I need to be here. I can't let the barbarians of other places look down on us. Right here. When you're done, let someone send you away in the military station. Zhang Xiaobao didn't want to waste time. Now that he had an excuse, he could continue to exchange low-priced goods for high-priced goods. As for those who didn't exchange or attacked, he would directly eliminate them. The excuse was that they were with the previous group of people. Li Sun immediately wrote here. After writing, he found that Zhang Xiaobao's words were wrong. He asked, use the military station? That's not good, right? Let's use pigeons. It's faster. What's wrong with national affairs? Others are living on our land. We don't have time to care about them. How dare they attack us? How is that not good? What Zhang Xiaobao said was very reasonable, at least Li Sun understood. He opened his mouth wide and was stunned for a moment before he nodded vigorously and said, Yes, that's right. That's our Tang Empire's territory. It's good enough that we let them live there. To think that they actually dared to make a move on our people. They are really bold. Chapter 526. Li Sun's letter was quickly delivered. He was now waiting for the imperial court to give him an order. He finally found an excuse not to go back. It was impossible for the imperial court to send a few more people here immediately. There was not enough time. This place was already under attack. How could they have the time to care about other things? Now, Lu Zhou had 3,000 soldiers. Initially, he said that he would have 4,000 soldiers. However, after several rounds of training, he eliminated the 1,000 soldiers who could not keep up. Now, 3,000 soldiers were not a small number. After a few months of training, they were doing pretty well. It was not a big deal to fight a big battle, but it was not a problem to fight a small battle, especially when they were using good weapons to bully others. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan also thought so. Although 3,000 people were not very useful when fighting the surrounding countries, it was not a problem when it came to that small place. There weren't many people there to begin with. Furthermore, there weren't any large organizations, and there weren't any good weapons. Not to mention 3,000 people, even 1,000 people would be able to do whatever they wanted there. In addition to Li Sun's guards and the Zhang family's 56 people, if they went there together, they would be able to bully the locals to death. After Li Sun sent the letter, he began to ask Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to take him to see the training of the 3,000 people. They could not wait to go there. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan naturally did not refuse. The group of people went to the barracks. On the way, they sighed with emotion. Lu Zhou finally had his own soldiers. The position of the military registrar could also be taken. He did not have to deal with so many things alone like before. That was too unstable. When the three of them arrived at the military camp's drill ground, they could hear the battle cries of the soldiers from afar. It sounded pretty good, but they didn't know if it would be as good as the battle cries. Out of the 3,000 people, 1,000 of them were originally from the mountain. Their formation wasn't very good, but if they were to really fight, the 1,000 of them could easily take care of the 2,000 people. Good, that's right. Train hard. The food we give you is so good, and you have a lot of money. If you don't train hard, you'll be letting down the food you eat. Li Sun stopped to watch from the side and also cheered. Zhang Xiaobao didn't say anything, and Wang Wan also didn't say anything. The three of them watched for a while, and then Li Sun urged his horse over. No one knew what he was thinking, but at this time, he began to mobilize his troops, telling the 3,000 people how the Great Tang had been attacked and how the Great Tang's territory had been occupied by others, yet he was not honest. The 3,000 people did not care whether that place was Great Tang or not. As long as someone said it was. When they heard that someone had been beaten up, they immediately refused to do anything. They all begged to be ordered to attack that place. They had to kill those people. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan listened from the side and were really speechless. This is why a weak country has no diplomacy. Only when it is strong can it not be bullied. More importantly, it has to maintain the courage of the people. As long as there is courage, even if it looks a little weak and has a small territory, others will not dare to attack it. Just like the mountain people here. Who dares to provoke them for no reason? They can't afford to pay the price. Zhang Xiaobao had a good impression of the people in this place. When it came to war, the men in the family were ready to go. They just needed to find an excuse. Wang Wan also thought so. A wolf without blood would not be able to beat a wild horse with blood. If one wanted others to respect them, then they had to have the strength and attitude to make others respect them. It was useless to always beg for peace. Peace was bought with blood. Xiao Bao, cuckoo, what happened? When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were still lamenting, Old Man Chong and Old Man Pai came from behind. The two of them heard that 3 people had hurriedly rode to the barracks and felt that something was wrong. As soon as Old Man Chong arrived, he saw Li Sun saying something to the soldiers. It seemed a little inappropriate to go over now, so he could only ask Zhang Xiaobao and Old Man Pai. Grandpa Zhang and Grandpa Bai are both here. In fact, it's not a big deal. It's just that a place in Great Tang has been occupied by some people from who knows where. Since they have occupied it, Great Tang naturally has to leave some place for them to live. But in the end, after we treated them well, our people went over. Guess what happened? They actually dared to attack our people and caused 2 of our people to be seriously injured. Zhang Xiaobao was now adamant that that place belonged to the Great Tang. In any case, no one would say otherwise. When the time came, he would just continue to occupy it. It was just like the current Tang Dynasty. How could the Central Plains be as big as it was now? Wasn't it still under siege? Are there really people who are seriously injured? Old Man Pai asked with concern. He knew where the so-called place of Great Tang was. It seemed that they had really found it. This was really great. Wang Wan said at the side, Grandpa Bai, they are really seriously injured. Both of their arms are injured, and one of them is injured on the leg. This is not the most important part. The most important part is that their hearts are hurt the most. The two of them just went over there and took our good things to try to exchange with their bad things. Grandpa Bai, don't you think our things are good? But the people on their side actually attacked the two of us who came with good intentions. After the two of them were beaten up, they could not understand why kind people were always hurt. Their dreams at night were always nightmares, and they were often jolted awake in their dreams. Grandpa Bai, the people on their side are really too evil. They clearly treat our kindness as weakness. In a situation where there was no other way, our people were forced to fight back. Fortunately, our people had the determination to fight to the death after being bullied, so we beat them back. But after all, we haven't been there for many years. The local people don't recognize us, so we had to come back with our tails between our legs. Xiao Bao, is this what you mean? Yes, it's like this. After Marquis Li Sun knew about this, he couldn't sit still. After all, young Master Li is a member of the royal family. He has to protect the people under his rule. How can he let a strong enemy bully him? That's why he came to this place and prepared to send some troops over there to let the people over there know whose territory it is, what they should do in the future, and what. Xiao Bao, Cuckoo, you two don't need to say any more. I know. So that's how it is. It's really unreasonable. Old Man Pai interrupted Zhang Xiaobao's impassioned speech and echoed. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were satisfied. Old Man Chong really didn't know what to say. After listening to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's words, he understood that the two sent out the troops to look for trouble. At first, they said that they were going to do some business, but now they were going to fight. Li Sun was not someone who was easy to deal with. He found an excuse and started to mobilize the soldiers here. The soldiers here had just reported to the higher-ups, but the higher-ups probably did not know. After all, the soldiers here had to be trained to look like soldiers before they could be called soldiers. It had just been 6 days since the news was sent out. As such, the current Li Sun would be able to bring the soldiers to war, and the imperial court would not be able to pursue the matter. After all, Li Sun had taken the soldiers away before they were fully formed. Old Man Chong pulled Old Man Pai to the side and said to Old Man Pai, "What should we do? See, the Zhang family has a lot of thoughts. They didn't go there to make a deal. They clearly went there to take over the things. If the imperial court knows about this, what will they say? What will they say if the imperial court knows? That's the Tang Empire's territory. Our people were hurt in the Tang Empire's territory, so we naturally have to send troops. Isn't Li Sun already prepared for this?" Old Man Pai said to Old Man Chong. His meaning was very clear. He wanted the Tang Empire's people to go there, take over the place, and make it their own. As for what other people said, they didn't care. At worst, they could just kill the local people or move them to other places. After many years, people would know that it was a piece of land of the Tang Empire. When Old Man Chong heard Old Man Pai's words, he understood Old Man Pai's plan. He sighed and said, "I'm not worried about this. Even if we take over the place, when the time comes, the Zhang family will expand to other places. Do we have to take over every place they expand? If that's the case, we won't have enough people on our side. We can't just take over the place and not send people to guard it, right? Do we have to send the people here over?" "No, we can't send the people of this place over. All the people who go there have to be replaced within a few years. If we send the people over, who knows if the people there will still recognize the Great Tang? If they really do suddenly establish a country, this place will be beyond our reach." When Old Man Pai heard that they had to send the people to other places, he immediately rejected it. They definitely couldn't send people there, especially in an ignorant place. The local people didn't know what was going on. If the people here went there, it was likely that they would first fight with the local people. After fighting for a while, they would realize that there wasn't much benefit to it. Moreover, if there was a war here, the people there would likely have other thoughts. If that's the case, then we'll think of a way in the future. The main thing is that the ship speed is too slow. It takes a long time to go and return. If something really happens over there, we won't be able to get there in time. No, we have to let Xiao Bao and Cuckoo talk to their families. Otherwise, even if we know the place, it will be useless. When Old Man Chong saw that Old Man Pai was starting to worry, he immediately mentioned telling the Zhang family. The two of them talked about a few more things before returning to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Old Man Chong said to Zhang Xiaobao, "Xiaobao, after your family found that island, will they continue to look for other places?" "Other places? Not for the time being. Grandpa Zhang, that place is not small. Don't think that we can go there now. If we want to occupy that place, it is impossible without tens of thousands of soldiers. My family now wants to manage that place well. We can't care about other places. We have to eat one bite at a time." Zhang Xiaobao understood. The two of them were afraid that when the time came, they would keep looking for new places. If that happened, the Tang Dynasty wouldn't have enough soldiers. Even if they had, they wouldn't be able to send them. What was the point of sending them there? Was it to kill a few people and come back? The place was big, the population was small, and the battle line was too long. It was easy to be attacked. That was why he told them part of the plan. When Old Man Chong heard Zhang Xiaobao's words, he was temporarily relieved. However, he was very curious about that place. What did it look like? What did the people look like? What were the specialties? These were all things that he had to find out first. The most important thing was how big that place was. He signaled Old Man Pai with his eyes. The Old Man Pai came out and asked, "Xiao Bao, is there anything good in that place? Is it big? Good things?" "Yes, the people who went this time brought back some things. I'll show them to Grandpa Zhang and Grandpa Bai later. There are so many things, and many of them are things that we need. I don't know how big that place is, but there are many islands between our place and that place. If we can reclaim that place, the islands in the middle will be ours as well. We can learn from Lu Zhou and build a lighthouse there. Also, we can find a bigger island and build better houses there. We can provide help to the fishermen in the distant sea." Zhang Xiaobao thought for a moment and told them the things that he planned to mention later. This time, he did not go into details, especially about what would happen in the future. He did not tell Old Man Chong and Old Man Pai. "Yes, Grandpa Bai, that place is great. There seems to be a lot of gold there. Gold and other local specialties. If we don't want them, we'll give them to others, especially the minerals. After they're mined, they won't appear again. Our family is thinking of using force to force the people who live in our place to work for us. When the minerals are mined, we'll send them here. We can bury them and keep them for our descendants to use in the future. We can also take them out now. That way, we don't need to touch the minerals here. We can keep them for our descendants. Also, they have a lot of food, just like Lei Province and Yi Province. We can let the local people grow the crops and bring them here to eat, feed the livestock, and make wine. We don't need the people to do this. Think about it, they live in our place. How can they not work for us? They're like farmers. Are farmers who don't work still farmers?" Wang Wan also chimed in at this time. The two old men were speechless when they heard her mention our place. What kind of people are they? It's fine if the adults are like this, but the two children are also learning from the adults. The locals are sad. The two looked at each other again. This time, they didn't say anything. In their hearts, they understood that the Zhang family would never give up that place. Since that was the case, they would wait for Li Sun to attack that place first. Then, they would let the imperial court send people to guard it. Just like what Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan said, they would change people every once in a while. Since it's like this, then you can continue to stay here. I'll go back with your Grandpa Zhang to rest. Seeing that there was nothing else for him to do, the Old Man Pai said goodbye and left. As soon as the two left the drill ground, they got on the carriage and asked the driver to slow down. They still had to discuss things. "There's actually gold over there, and it seems like there are other things too. This time's harvest is not small. But why do I feel like the Zhang family already knew about it? Look at their preparations. They just happened to go over there to deal with other people. Old Man Pai leaned against the carriage and said this to Old Man Chong. After that, he ordered the driver to go to the docks to see what was there. Old Man Chong also had the same feeling. From the things prepared by the Zhang family's fleet, it was indeed so. They must have gotten the news from somewhere. But that didn't seem right. How long has it been since the Zhang family arrived here? Could it be that a fisherman accidentally went over there? How could that be? How long would it take to go and return? What kind of boat would a fisherman have? They would have long capsized in the water. It didn't make sense. After pondering for a while, Old Man Chong said, I also think so. But if we ask them, there's nothing we can do if they don't admit it. It seems like we can only wait. If they are more familiar with things over there, maybe it can explain some problems. Yes, I think they are eyeing all kinds of things in that place. Otherwise, they wouldn't be like this. And those people from the Jiangnan East Road, when did the Zhang family become so generous? They actually let them not pay for it and let them lend their ships to do business. After they arrived here, they didn't try to lower the price and even let their ships not carry the same things. Do you think the Zhang family is scheming against the merchants from the Jiangnan East Road? This won't do. We can't mess up over there. Once something happens, many places will be affected. We have to ask them carefully. The Jiangnan East Road's merchants are at the docks here. We can ask them together. Old Man Pai agreed with Old Man Chang's words. At the same time, he also mentioned the merchants. If it was someone else, it wouldn't be a big deal. People would think that it was the right thing to do. But the Zhang family was not so simple. They could always connect many things together. Yes, connecting them together. Old Man Pai thought of this and suddenly said, Do you think the merchants from the Jiangnan East Road have anything to do with that newly discovered place? The Zhang family's actions shouldn't be simple, right? Yes, that makes sense. Let's go and ask. If it doesn't work, we'll wait for Li Sun to send troops and see what the result is. I don't think the Zhang family will hide it forever. After Old Man Chong finished speaking, he began to ask the driver to hurry up. The more they knew about this kind of thing in advance, the more time they had to prepare. Li Sun was still instigating on the drill ground. The 3,000 soldiers had long been fired up by his words. One by one, they clamored to teach others a lesson. Li Sun also shouted with all his might. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan watched from the side. They felt a little helpless. At the same time, they were curious. The two of them didn't seem to have taught Li Sun this kind of thing. How did he know? Could this be talent? If so, then Li Sun should be suitable to be a general, not a rich man. When the time came, he would be able to come in handy. Or maybe he could be an instructor or something. Very interesting. It seems that Li Sun can also be cultivated. Look at what he's saying now. Good, very good. Let's go somewhere else. By the time we come back, he'll probably be able to select 1,000 people. Fortunately, the fleet came back in time. Otherwise, it would be easy for things to go wrong. Zhang Xiaobao said a few words and turned his horse to go somewhere else. He was very glad that the fleet came back early. Otherwise, once the imperial court knew about the army here and arranged for a clerk to come over, it wouldn't be easy to mobilize the army. Now that everything was under the control of his father, no one would say anything else. Even if the army was sent, it would be very normal. Moreover, this army had not been recognized by the imperial court. If they really investigated, they would say that the local people spontaneously went to fight. Li Sun continued to instigate. When he saw that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had left, he felt that it was about time to start the competition. As long as 1,000 people went, those who wanted to go had to be within the top 1,000. The soldiers immediately began to compete. Li Sun found a person and asked him to watch. As long as 1,000 people were chosen, he rode his horse and chased after Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Li Sun caught up to Zhang Xiaobao and turned his head to ask, Xiaobao, did you not use that firework this time? Good, I brought it. Do you want to go with me? What do you mean go with you? You can't go. You're just a symbol. What if there's danger? When Zhang Xiaobao heard Li Sun's words, he immediately poured cold water on his head. How could he let him go? Wouldn't that be troublesome? Li Sun was stunned for a moment. He stared at Zhang Xiaobao to see if he was lying. Seeing Zhang Xiaobao's serious expression, he nodded and said, I know. I just can't go, right? No, I have to go. I have to fight with my people. Even if there is danger, I have to go. Otherwise, am I still a member of the imperial family? Then you go by yourself. No one will stop you. Anyway, the others on my side won't go. Zhang Xiaobao saw that Li Sun was still there and could only use threats. Only my 200 people will go. What if they have more people? Well, I won't go personally this time. But I have to go to Yazhou and wait. I have to know the news first. Li Sun thought about it. It was really dangerous there. If he died, yes, he died. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan usually said that. If he died, then he wouldn't be able to do good things for the people in his fief. Chapter 527. Knowing that he couldn't go in person, Li Sun's enthusiasm decreased. He had been thinking about this for a while, but now that he had put it down, he suddenly had a new goal. Xiaobao, Cuckoo, I've been studying how to educate children recently, and I've learned a lot. Therefore, I feel that I should do my part for the children of Tang Dynasty. I've decided to start with your own children. Don't try to teach our younger siblings. Before Li Sun could finish, Zhang Xiaobao interrupted him. He knew what Li Sun wanted to do. Of course, he couldn't. He and Cuckoo had to teach them. Don't disagree. I promise that I'll teach them the 1,000-character classic by the age of 2, simple mathematics by the age of 3, and there's no need. Our younger siblings won't do this. Is it so easy to be a child prodigy? I'll be satisfied if they can go out and walk around by themselves at the age of 2. If you want to find children to teach, you can have them yourself. You're old enough to have a fief. Xiaobao disagreed even more. Learning the 1,000-character classic at the age of 2 was something that he didn't need Li Sun to teach him. He could do it himself. He could just make it into the game. A child's memory was very good. If they were smart, they would be able to remember the things that they were curious about. But what was the use of that? Unless they were born knowing the 1,000-character classic, then it would be the same as him and Cuckoo. Otherwise, their childhood would be gone. If he and Cuckoo didn't have the mentality of an adult, they wouldn't study so hard. With him and Cuckoo supporting the family, they could let their younger siblings live a more comfortable life. They could learn when they were older, play more when they were young, and develop their brains. When they were 5 or 6 years old, they could see what they liked. They could take all kinds of things in front of them and teach them what they liked. They didn't have to be a high-ranking official. They just had to be outstanding in a certain field. Yes, they had to be outstanding, and they couldn't be bad. They could choose, but they had to be good. Except for high IQ, they were all the same. As long as they chose something they liked and were willing to work hard, it was impossible for them not to succeed. Besides, they had Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family behind them. Li Sun saw that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't agree, so he said helplessly, "When I have children, I'll let them learn the 1,000-character classic at the age of 2. You 2 sisters, then you can marry them to my son." Ha ha ha. My younger brother and sister are already taken. You don't have to worry about that. Zhang Xiaobao continued to deny. What do you think my sisters are? Then I have a daughter to marry your younger brother. Li Sun still didn't give up. We don't want that either. Our younger brother can only marry one, not one more. Zhang Xiaobao also decided on this matter. Li Sun curled his lips. Then don't think of your family becoming a big family. You have to have more children. If you only marry one, people will laugh at you. My father only has one mother. Will anyone laugh at my father? He is the top scholar in the Jinshu examination, a fourth-grade official under the age of 30, and a provincial governor. Who will laugh at him? My mother is still young. At most, she can have 2 more. Zhang Xiaobao retorted. You can't control your younger siblings. You have to listen to your father. When the time comes, he has to do what I tell him. You really don't need me to teach you? I'm very good. Li Sun still didn't give up. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't say much. Anyway, the 2 of them had already decided. When the time came, they would slowly teach him. What was the point of marrying so many wives? He spent all his energy on women. What else could he do? The 2 of them walked in front. Li Sun was still thinking about his younger siblings. Suddenly he said, Xiaobao, Cuckoo, if your younger siblings were like you, they would be sensible from a young age. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan looked at each other. Wang Wan's mouth moved. In a while, let's go and take a look. What if there are more people coming? It's best if they study physics or chemistry. A PhD is good. If there is someone from the Academy of Science, even if he studies mathematics, at least he can calculate the trajectory of a missile. Yes, we must take a look. If they are from China, it's fine. But what if they are from other countries? Let's go back and take a look. Zhang Xiaobao also quivered. He turned his horse and galloped back. Wang Wan followed. Li Sun was stunned for a while. He didn't know what was going on with the 2 of them. He thought for a while and shouted, I won't go back. I'm going to take a look at my soldiers. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan rushed back as fast as they could. As soon as they entered the door, they rushed straight to the crib. The 4 little guys were lying there side by side. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan came to the crib. They didn't make a sound and just sat there to carefully observe the 4 little guys. The 4 little guys were sleeping very soundly. Each of them had small arms and legs. Their little hands were half clenched into fists. Their wrinkled little mouths and noses were moving. It was indescribably fun. How do you see? Wang Wan's lips moved. How did you see through me back then? Zhang Xiaobao replied. At that time they could speak. Although their words were not clear because of air leakage, they can't speak. It's better to get some copper coins or something. Wang Wan's idea was to get something that could reflect the dynasty, and then secretly observe the 4 little guys. If any one of them was interested in everything around them, then it would explain something. Just like her and Xiao Bao, the first thing they did when they came here was to confirm their identity. Then, they would check the environment. From the layout of the table and the Kaiyuan Tong Bao used, they knew that it was in the Tang Dynasty. There was also the clothes on the servant girls. It was impossible to bring the 2 of them to act. Zhang Xiaobao nodded and specially arranged it. Then, he prepared the milk bottles, waiting to feed the 4 little guys milk. From their actions, it could be seen that if it was someone like them, their first reaction would be to feel uncomfortable and not instinctively suck, unless that person was more powerful than them. The 2 of them didn't wait for too long before the 4 little guys reacted. The youngest, Zhang Xiaobao's sister, cried. When she cried, the other 3 woke up. 2 of them cried, and one of them opened his eyes curiously and tried to look to the side. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's attention immediately turned to Wang Wan's brother who didn't cry. After a while, the 3 little guys cried, but the little guy laughed and giggled. What are you laughing at? Zhang Xiaobao moved his head closer and asked, his eyes staring unblinkingly at Wang Wan's younger brother. He gestured to the servant girl at the side, telling her not to worry about him for now. Chapter 528. After Zhang Xiaobao finished his question, he gently placed his hand on the little girl's neck, feeling for her pulse. Wang Wan added 2 more languages, but the little girl continued to look at them curiously. Her eyes darted around, trying to raise her little hand to touch Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Zhang Xiaobao shook his head regretfully. He couldn't see anything wrong with the little guy's eyes. The change in the little guy's pupils, the same eyelids, the expression on the little guy's face and breathing were all normal. Wang Wan also sighed. The two of them really wanted a powerful younger brother or sister. That way they could save a lot of effort. If they were from the same generation as them, even if they were a street thug, it would be fine. Unfortunately, this hope was dashed. Wang Wan changed the urinal pad for the little girl who was the first to cry. Then, she touched the other two little guys who were crying. The three little guys stopped crying. They opened their eyes and looked at the world curiously. Watch carefully. It's fine now. I was just watching. Zhang Xiaobao said to the servant girl, then pulled Wang Wan out of the room. Looking at the four little ancestors, there were a total of 5 servant girls. Each servant girl was responsible for one child, and the last one was responsible for delivering messages. It could be said that the protection was to the extreme. Seeing the young master and young lady leave, the 5 servant girls looked at each other. One of them said in surprise in a small voice, "Did you see that?" Just now, the young master and young lady used 11 different languages to talk to the young master of the Wang family. Why did it sound so messy to me? I couldn't make out what they were saying. Another servant girl shook her head. That's because you don't know. I've only heard one of them. It was said by those foreign monks. Since that was the case, the other 8 shouldn't be wrong either. Amazing, right? It's a pity that the young master of the Wang family didn't understand. I reckon that there were immortals among them. If the Zhang Xiaobao and Wang families had 4 more little immortals, then... Stop dreaming. It's already a miracle that 2 of them can come out. For more. Another maidservant said. The 5 maidservants started a new round of discussion around this topic. They were really too bored, but they couldn't ignore the 4 little ancestors. Not a single one. There's no hope now, and there's no need to worry. Those 11 languages basically include almost all the languages in the world, unless it's a special place. Moreover, they don't use the common language. I'm really afraid that a foreigner will appear. Tell me, should I keep them or kill them? Zhang Xiaobao pulled Wang Wan out, looked up at the sky, and said after letting out a long breath. Of course, keep them. Unless they encounter a race like the Jews, there's no need to worry. They can always betray, especially those former colonial countries. Their history is too short, and they don't have a foundation. They can only rely on radical methods to advance. They only have a country but not a race. There's no need to worry about such people. Wang Wan expressed her opinion. Zhang Xiaobao thought about it and nodded. For those countries, there's still a long way to go. They need to create their own history. Let's go and have a look at the docks. Just now, we were in a hurry to send out troops, so we don't know what good things they brought back. In fact, what I want most is oil and natural gas, as well as some rare earths and some rare radioactive materials. If I can't use them myself, I can leave them for my descendants. Do you know the principle of gasoline engines? We can use alcohol instead. I can't make such pure gasoline. If you want to use alcohol, why don't you make a simple hot air balloon? It's like a large Kongming lantern. You can change the material and it can fly people up. There shouldn't be any good food crops in Luzon right now. If you want, it's best to go to Africa and occupy Liujia first. When Wang Wan heard the gasoline engine, she immediately rejected it. If she could make that thing, she would make a steam engine first. The principle was simple, and it was just a junior high school knowledge. The problem was that the materials were not easy to find. Whether it was a steam engine, a diesel engine, or a gasoline engine, they all needed to be sealed. In the absence of rubber, other sealing methods were not so good. The 2 of them chatted and left. It was impossible to stop plundering resources. The heavy burden of maintaining world peace was not something the 2 of them could shoulder, so it was better to leave it to others. Li Sun's actions were not slow. After the letter was sent out, 1,000 people were selected. A portion of the people who went last time followed them and formed a fleet of 10 ships. Once again, they left Qinzhou Bay's pier and headed for the other side of the sea. This time, the ships were loaded with silk. The clothes worn by the people over there were too poor. As such, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan ordered people to buy the cheapest silk and many low-quality jars. They sent them all together to trade with the locals. Although the goods were not good here, they were treasures over there. Li Sun stood at the pier and waved his hand continuously. It was as if the fleet had taken away his soul. Young Master Li, it's better for you to write a supplementary document and send it to the higher-ups. This won't do for now. Alright, you should also choose a few things that you brought back this time and send them to the higher-ups, especially that gold mine. They will support you when they see it. Chapter 529. The wind blew fiercely, and the rain continued to fall. Father, are we going to die here? A trembling voice came from the darkness amidst the heavy rain. Lightning flashed, and under the waves, there was a small fishing boat with 2 people on it. A naked and small man held onto the side of the boat tightly and looked at the sky in fear. The rain flowed down his cheeks. The other person was silent. He held the oar in his hand and swept and pushed against the incoming waves. The boat directly used this force to retreat a distance and was not overturned by the waves. At this time, the person rowing the boat wiped his face and said, "Little Tao, don't be afraid. The waves will push us to the shore." Yes, push to the shore. Father, if I knew this would happen, I wouldn't have taken the risk to come here. After saying this, the person called Little Tao took a deep breath. Just as he held his breath, another wave fell. The older person used the same method to push the boat away. He wiped his face with his hand and said to his son, "Little Tao, I misunderstood. Little Tao, I was wrong. If I didn't want to rely on your swimming ability to get more jiaxiang, why would I bring you to a place so far away from the island? Father has harmed you. No matter how good I am at swimming, it's useless." Another wave hit, and the boat repeated the previous step. There seemed to be no danger, but the father knew that he had no strength left. He was pushed away by the wind and waves. He didn't know where he had run to. He had left the range of the island and could only rely on the real shore. There was no hope at all. Father, I don't blame Father. If I didn't come out to get armor, how could I find a wife for brother? I just miss Mother. If Mother knows that something happened to me and Father, she will be very sad. Father, don't move, we can't run away. Save some strength, I will take you back later. The further we can swim, the better. What if we can survive? While speaking, Little Tao encountered another wave. Under the light of the lightning, he saw that his father's movements had become stiff. He gritted his teeth and said with determination, "As a father, how could he be willing to drag his son down?" He squeezed out a smile and said, "Little Tao, when I can't hold on anymore, you can swim by yourself. I hope you can survive. Don't worry about me. It's a pity that with your ability, you can fish up a fragrant shell from 300 feet into the water. You shouldn't have encountered such a storm. No, if we're leaving, we'll leave together. We'll survive, and we'll be able to get even more armor incense." Xiao Tao couldn't run by himself. He didn't care about his father. In fact, even if he ran by himself, he might not be able to escape. It was peaceful underwater, but he had to come up to take a breath. After a few breaths, he would be exhausted. Splash! A wave came crashing down from the undulating surface of the sea. The small boat could no longer retreat. The entire boat was immediately overturned. The father had no strength left. He fell into the water and disappeared without a trace. The moment the boat capsized, Little Tao took a deep breath and plunged his head into the water. His body twisted a few times like a fish and he grabbed his father. His legs kicked at the same time and his 2 heads popped out of the water. "Father, let's go home. In a while, I'll exert strength in my hand and you'll hold your breath." Little Tao grabbed his father's arm and shouted. He immediately exerted strength in his hand. His father also held his breath. Little Tao took his father and plunged back into the water. The wave swept past the previous position. When the wave came, the 2 heads popped out again. They struggled to swim in the direction of the wave. That should be the shore. Every time a wave came, the two people would dive into the water. It wasn't that they wouldn't be affected by the current, but they were afraid of being caught by the floating things on the water. Even if it was a rotten fish, the bones could cut a big hole in their body. They didn't know how long they had been swimming. When the father saw many bright spots in front of his eyes, his whole body was cold. He knew that he couldn't hold on any longer. He weakly said to his son, "Let go of me. Swim back. Go back alive." "I don't want to. I'll take you back with me." Little Tao stubbornly pulled his father and continued to swim. To be able to persist for such a long time in such weather, even the bare-handed fishermen in the Yellow River would feel ashamed. However, in the face of the power of heaven and earth, no matter how great one's ability was, it was useless. As he swam, Little Tao didn't think about anything else. He only moved mechanically. Even the frequency of his breathing was completely based on instinct. Just when he was about to give up, he suddenly saw a light flash in front of him. He thought it was an illusion, but the light didn't disappear. It was always there. Little Tao's eyes lit up. He thought that he had met someone. That meant that they were about to reach the shore. His body seemed to have regained its strength. He exerted all his strength to swim towards the light. Lightning flashed from time to time. In a trance, Little Tao found that the place seemed to be where a reef was. He didn't care so much. A reef was good. He could rest on it and wait for his father to recover before thinking of a solution. It looked close, but it wasn't that simple to swim over. Little Tao stared. He only thought of swimming to that place. He didn't even care if the waves carried something that could hurt people. "Old Wang, what are you looking at in the middle of the night? There's no ship coming. It's been 10 days. There should have been a ship coming to deliver something to us, but it met with a huge storm. It seems that we have to wait until tomorrow or the day after." In a lighthouse furthest from Qinzhou Bay, a person was holding a clairvoyance and looking at the sea. Another person was sitting beside a stove and roasting fish. The person roasting the fish had just finished roasting a fish. He passed it to the person holding the clairvoyance and said, "How can we not take a good look? What if there's a ship coming? I asked you to look at the light just now, but you actually fell asleep. If a good official finds out, you can forget about your job in the future. When it's your turn, you can go back and say it yourself. If you wait for me to say it, then it's a different matter." Old Wang turned his head and took the fish. He gave the person roasting the fish a warning. "Uncle Wang, I won't dare to do it again. Can you not say it? It's just the two of us here. No one else knows." The person roasting the fish was really scared. He was in charge of cooking and looking at the light. In the end, he fell asleep at night when the light was most needed. "You don't want to say it? That won't do. You can say it yourself. Be careful in the future. You won't be punished. If you don't say it this time, you can still fall asleep next time. Quick, help me see if there's anyone in the water." Lao Wang didn't discuss anything at all. Just as he was speaking, he suddenly saw two people swimming towards them under the light of the lightning. How can there be anyone? He should have drowned long ago. The person roasting the fish impatiently came over. If he didn't need help, he wouldn't have cared. He took the clairvoyance and looked at the water. It was pitch black and there was nothing. Just as he was about to continue roasting the fish, another flash of lightning appeared. "Uncle Wang, quick, go and save him. That kid is still swimming and can't hold on any longer. He's sinking more than floating and he's bringing someone with him." After the person roasting the fish shouted, he threw the clairvoyance aside and started to put on a life vest. For those who care about this book, take a look at the following. For the past half a month, I've been affected by various things. My body is a little tired and my mind is a little uncomfortable. I've entered the fatigue period. I feel that the quality of the chapters one write has dropped. Can everyone help me see if this is the case? Today's chapter is an adjustment. I'm preparing to restore the quality of this chapter or even better. Also, I'm following the outline and feel that there's a lack of passion. Reading my own book as an author will make me feel bored. After all, I already know the plot. Therefore, I need everyone's help now. You can add Q to the top group in the introduction section. You can tell me how you feel recently so that I can adjust. Thank you. If not, the quality of this book will be finished. Chapter 530. There were spacious rooms in the new bamboo building. There was a huge courtyard outside that was divided into a front and back yard. There was also a barn next to the courtyard. There were flocks of ducks in the courtyard, just like Lu Zhou. The weather was getting colder. There were a few blankets and a small charcoal stove. Meat porridge was cooking on the stove. A thick aroma wafted out. It was not fish porridge, but pork porridge. It was freshly slaughtered pigs. It smelled good. Lil Tao, who was lying on the floor, smacked his lips. He stuck his tongue out and licked his lips. He kept saying, "Smells good. Get up and have some if you think it smells good." Where did this come from? The person in charge of cooking in the lighthouse brought a bowl of porridge to Lil Tao and nudged him. When Lil Tao opened his eyes, Wei Wei was still in a daze. There was no bamboo building or courtyard in front of him. The flocks of ducks he heard from others were nowhere to be seen. There was only a slightly plump person looking at him with a smile on his face. Where am I? Why am I here? Lil Tao seemed to have forgotten what happened before he woke up. He asked in a slightly hoarse voice. You fell into the water, and we fished you out. You're quite lucky, young man. It's a dark night, and it's stormy and windy. If old Wang wasn't here, we would have found 2 floating corpses tomorrow morning. The cook explained patiently to Lil Tao. Lil Tao was stunned for a moment before he finally remembered what happened. Yes, he was swimming in the sea with his father. He only remembered there was a house in front of him with lights on. After that, he saw 2 people swimming toward him. They were good swimmers. They did not sink at all. After that, he lost all his strength. Where's my father? Where's my father? Is he here? When Lil Tao regained his senses, the first thing that came to his mind was his father's safety. He's here. He's here. Is that person your father? Don't worry, he's still alive. I think he's a little old and tired. He's sleeping over there and hasn't woken up yet. Drink the porridge when you wake up. After that, stay with your father. I'm going to sleep for a while. Cook placed the bowl of porridge on the floor and pushed it in front of little Tao. He yawned and laid down on the floor in the most comfortable position to fall asleep. Lao Wang, who had taken turns to sleep at night, got up at this moment. He used his clairvoyance to scan the surface of the sea. He sat by the window and said to Xiao Tao, "You guys were lucky to be able to make it here last night. Don't think about other things. Just rest well. It's good that you guys are here. The boat can be rebuilt." Lao Wang could tell at a glance that the 2 of them were fishermen. Their boat must have been overturned at night. There was no need to say how important a boat was to a fisherman's family. He was just afraid that the 2 of them would take things too hard. Xiao Tao did feel a little heartache for the boat, but he didn't particularly care. A person who was about to die had actually come back to life. At most, he would go into the water to fish for more armor and let his father fish on the shore. His brother would also help out a little. After 2 months, he would be able to get another boat. Nodding gratefully at the unknown person at the window, Xiao Tao came to his father's side and carefully looked at him. Seeing that he was really fine, he was relieved. Enduring the soreness all over his body, he picked up the bowl to test whether it was hot or cold. He drank a mouthful, letting the fragrance of the meat fill his mouth. A happy expression appeared on his face. This uncle, you and another uncle's family live here? Xiao Tao, who couldn't bear to finish the porridge in one gulp, licked his lips and asked. Lao Wang was still guarding his post. Using his clairvoyance eye, he looked at the boring and monotonous sea and asked, "You don't know about the lighthouse?" "I don't know." "What's a lighthouse?" "The name of the village?" "My father and I came here from On's province, and we found a large island in the middle of the sea. We built a small house on the island, and we were able to search for places with armor incense around the island. I swam down to dig, and 30 copper coins worth of armor incense can be exchanged for a copper coin. After just 3 days of digging, I was blown away by the wind. Xiao Tao's eyes looked outside the window. As he spoke, his expression changed. It was yearning, regret, and finally relief. It's all thanks to Uncle for saving me and my father. Otherwise, this family would be finished. Uncle, looking at this place, it seems that life isn't good. Wait until I get more armor, then I'll change a house for Uncle. Xiao Tao knew how to be grateful. Seeing that the place where the two of them slept didn't seem to be that good, he wanted to build a house for them in the future. As he spoke, his hand brought the bowl of porridge to his mouth. Looking at the meat inside, he was stunned. Only then did he feel that something was wrong. If life was really not good, why would he use a porcelain bowl? Why would he make meat porridge for himself? Rice porridge was enough. Uncle, you and this uncle don't seem to have a bad life. Ha ha ha, young man, it's enough that you have this kind of heart. You don't have to think about repaying me all day long. It's enough as long as you lead a good life. There's good yellow wine in the jar at the side. Heat it up and drink it. You must be tired last night, right? Lao Wang knew what the young man was thinking. He smiled kindly and pointed at the jar at the side without turning his head. Xiao Tao nodded and then shook his head. His mouth was half open. He wanted to say something, but he didn't know what to say. Lao Wang's eyes were on the sea, but his mouth was useless. Since he had nothing to do, he said to Xiao Tao, 30 armor incense for 1 copper coin. It's a little too little. In Luzhou, it depends on the quality. If 30 armor incense is of high grade, countless people will fight for 100 copper coins, let alone 1 copper coin. If you sell it to Luzhou's specialty company, you can get 120 copper coins. Xiao Tao was stunned. It seemed that he could not believe that armor incense could be sold for so much money. After dozens of breaths, he asked tentatively, Uncle, do you know? Yes, I'm from Luzhou. How can I not know? I guard the lighthouse and guide the ships that come and go. I know where are the reefs and rapids in this area. I get paid 30 copper coins a day. The Chamber of Commerce will take care of it. As long as the ships within sight of the lighthouse can receive help, it's not considered a dereliction of duty. It's my duty to save you last night, so you don't have to thank the two of us. If you want to thank someone, thank Provincial Governor Zhang of Luzhou. In the future, when you're fishing or armor incense, if you're tired and don't have a place to rest, you can come to the lighthouse to have a look. Drink some hot water and have a meal. It's free. Lao Wang's voice was not loud, but it sounded like thunder in Xiao Tao's ears. Uncle, if you don't want money, aren't you just throwing money in? What is the lighthouse? Xiao Tao still did not know what the lighthouse represented. The lighthouse is a home. It's a warm home for those who set sail. As long as you see the lighthouse, you're home. You don't have to be so polite with your family. Drink up, there's more in the pot. When your Uncle Little Stone wakes up, I'll make you something good to eat. There'll be some vegetables. I'll make some vinegar and cabbage. As for the money from the lighthouse, it's taken from the people and used by the people. A small portion of the people from other provinces sell their things to Luzhou's Chamber of Commerce. That money is enough to support the lighthouse. Home. Xiao Tao felt that he had regained some of his strength. He finished the bowl of meat porridge in one gulp before it turned cold. He stood up and walked to another window. He inhaled deeply and hastily took a few steps back. He stared into the distance in a daze. It's too high. No wonder I can see so far. I see. Uncle, is this lighthouse specially prepared by Luzhou for those who set sail? Yes, it's prepared for those who set sail. There's not just one lighthouse. If we count from here, there are a total of 200 lighthouses. There are 15 big ones like the one we're in. The rest are small lighthouses. It'll take more than half a month to travel from here to Luzhou. How can there be so few lighthouses? Old Wang found someone to talk to and began to introduce the lighthouses in detail. The more Xiao Tao listened, the more surprised he became. When Old Wang was almost done, Xiao Tao sighed and lowered his head. His voice was soft as he said, "If Ansi province can be like this, my father and I wouldn't have almost lost our lives last night. In the past, I've always heard Lu Zhou's people talk about how good Lu Zhou is. I've tried my best to think about it. Now, I know I haven't thought about it enough." Xiao Tao envied Lu Zhou's people. At the same time, he felt sad. They were all near the sea. Why was it that Lu Zhou's people were protected when they went out to sea to fish, but he had nothing here? Home, as expected of home. Within the range of 200 lighthouses, he did not have to worry about anything. He could just focus on fishing. If he was hungry, he could just look for a lighthouse and have a hot meal. On the other hand, when he went out to sea, he would bring along some steamed rice and some vegetable leaves. When he arrived at sea, he would just roll them up and eat them. It was fine when the weather was cold, but when it was hot, the food would go bad, and there would be a sour taste in his mouth. "If only I was born in Lu Zhou," Xiao Tao muttered under his breath. Xiao Tao muttered. When he raised his head, he suddenly realized that there were two boats that were much larger than fishing boats approaching. He immediately shouted to Old Wang, "Uncle, boats, boats, big boats. There are big boats coming. Are they coming here to eat?" Old Wang could not see them from his angle. When he heard Xiao Tao's words, he quickly climbed up the ladder at the side. When he was at the top, he could see the surroundings clearly. He only stuck his head out and looked in that direction. As he climbed down, he said, "Don't worry about it. They're here to deliver daily necessities to us. There's meat, vegetables, and ice. After that, they'll go to other places to patrol." Lu Zhou. Patrol? Patrol for what? Xiao Tao looked back and became even more curious. If they encounter boats from other places or fishing boats at sea, they'll go and take care of it. There's nothing wrong now, but when more fishing boats go out in the future and have conflicts with fishing boats from other places, the patrol boats will go over. Yes, that's what the good official said. Old Wang seemed very proud when he said this. Xiao Tao nodded to show that he understood. "I know. If there's a conflict with fishing boats from other places, we'll send patrol boats over to see who's in the right." Wrong. It's not to see who's in the right, it's to see who dares to touch my boat. There's no reason. If it's a boat from another province, then it's fine. If it's a boat from another country, the patrol boats will arrest them. If they resist, they'll be killed. Old Wang's words were filled with killing intent, which frightened Xiao Tao. At the same time, he was very excited. He asked in a low voice, "Then, if there's a conflict between boats from other provinces and boats from other countries, will Lu Zhou's boat take care of it?" "Yes, as long as it's a boat from Tang, it's reasonable. If it's not a boat from Tang, it's unreasonable." "That's great. I wonder if we can build the lighthouse further away. In the future, we can sell the fish we catch and the armor we catch to Lu Zhou's Chamber of Commerce." "Uncle, can you accept it here? It's a little far from Lu Zhou." Xiao Tao suddenly felt proud. When he thought about how his family would be protected by patrol boats when they went fishing in the future, he felt energized. He did not have to worry about the wind and waves, and he did not have to be afraid of people from other places. He knew that the further away they were from the sea, the more likely they were to catch special fish and sell them for a high price. According to the people from the West, they often encountered people from other countries when they were fishing there. Sometimes, they would even curse each other. When there were more boats from other countries, they would run away. They were afraid that they could not win in a fight. If the lighthouse could be built further away, and the patrol boats could be sent further away, he would see who would dare to provoke him. Old Wang looked at Xiao Tao with a smile and said, "Take it. As long as you bring it to us, we'll take it. However, in terms of quality, we'll calculate according to the lowest quality. I can't tell the quality of so many things. The lighthouse will have to be repaired in the future as well. The main reason is that the patrol ships are too good. After some time, the ships in the docks will be able to patrol further away. Lu Zhou, since the Chamber of Commerce earns money from the fishermen, it's only right that we help them and protect them. Really? That's great. In the future, when my family has something, we'll sell it to the lighthouse. Uncle, you can tell the people here later and ask them to build a lighthouse on the island my family discovered. I'll ask the people in my village to sell their things to the lighthouse. Xiao Tao's eyes were filled with joy. He began to fantasize about the future. After waiting for a while, 2 patrol boats came over. Old Wang really did tell Xiao Tao's words to the people who got off the boat to deliver the things. The people on the patrol were not directly responsible for this matter. They could only record it down and report it to their superiors when they returned. If it was successful, they would be rewarded. All kinds of things were moved down and carried to the lighthouse's warehouse. Old Wang checked them and pressed his fingerprint. Then, the patrol boats left the lighthouse and headed to another place. Xiao Tao also followed along and helped a little. His body had not fully recovered, and he felt sore every time he moved. As he looked at the 2 patrol boats in the distance, he suddenly made a decision. If there was a chance in the future, he would join the patrol fleet and do some work. Xiao Tao, where are you? As soon as he returned to the top, Xiao Tao heard his father's voice and ran over in surprise. Dad, I'm here. Dad, you're awake? I'll heat up some food for you. It's meat porridge, the kind of pork that you can only eat during the new year. As he spoke, Xiao Tao went to heat up the porridge. After seeing the bubbles of the porridge, he sniffed and brought a bowl to his father. Dad, drink it while it's hot. There are other things to eat later. What is this place? Xiao Tao's father obviously didn't react in time. He watched as his son busied himself for a while before bringing a bowl of meat porridge over. He sniffed the porridge just like Xiao Tao. He knew it was cooked with pork and was a little worried when he asked about it. Dad, eat it quickly. We're home. Dad, is it because you can't move your arms from rowing last night? Let me feed you. Xiao Tao scooped some porridge with a spoon, blew on it, and brought it to his father's mouth. Xiao Tao's father took a bite and smacked his lips. Delicious. Xiao Tao, did you make this? Is this home? Since when did our home become like this? How long have I slept? This is home. There will be more homes in the future. This province was made by my uncle. As long as one is from Tang and makes a living on the sea, the lighthouse is home. Xiao Tao told his father the whole story from beginning to end while feeding him. Xiao Tao's father had seen the people sleeping here just now, but he did not expect there to be such a good place. He finished the porridge in the bowl in one gulp, heaved a sigh of relief, and said, That's good. Lu Zhou's provincial governor Zhang is not an ordinary official. Life will be good in the future. Your brother won't have to worry about a wife anymore. Yes. We'll sell things to Lu Zhou's Chamber of Commerce in the future. We won't sell things to other places even if they offer us more money. Lu Zhou's Chamber of Commerce can protect us. If we sell things to others and they can't make money, the lighthouse won't be able to survive. Xiao Tao had his own ideas. Since he wanted the Chamber of Commerce to protect him, he had to let them make money. When he thought of this, Xiao Tao slapped his forehead and said, I forgot something just now. I forgot to ask the patrol boat to help us go back. What should we do? Do we have to swim back? At this time, Old Wang came up. When he heard the conversation between the father and son, he said with a smile, Young man, don't worry. There are 2 boats docked at each lighthouse. After you rest for a day, you can row 1 boat back. Remember to send the boat back when there's a new boat. Huh? We can use the boat here? Uncle, aren't you afraid that we won't return the boat? Although Xiao Tao was happy, he still could not believe it. The old man meant to lend them a boat and let them work. When they had the money to buy a new boat, they would return the boat. I'm not afraid. At most, I'll just put in some effort. You have to go out to sea to fish anyway. When you take the boat, write a receipt. If you don't return it, there will be patrol boats there. If they find you, you don't have to say what will happen. Old Wang was not worried at all. Unless it was two people who wanted to earn a boat, they would move away and make it impossible for people to find them. Xiao Tao jumped up and waved his hands happily. He looked at his father and then at the old man and said, "Uncle, don't worry. We will definitely buy a new boat in the shortest time possible. Since the armor incense is so valuable, it will be enough to sell it a few times. Uncle, let me tell you a secret. I can swim to a depth of 300 feet to pick armor incense." When Old Wang heard this, he was stunned. He asked tentatively, "Really? You can swim that deep? Aren't you panting?" "I'm panting, but I can use that breath for a very long time. I have a way, which is to not move the places that don't need to be moved. Tie a stone to the bottom and let it sink. After picking the armor incense at the bottom, release the stone and swim back up." Chapter 531. Old Wang was truly moved this time. He kept staring at Little Tao until Little Tao did not know what to do. Then he asked, "Are you born with this ability?" "No, I figured it out later. You have to practice holding your breath in the water. I just figured it out by myself." Little Tao smiled shyly and replied, "Really? You can figure it out? Good, good. Little Tao, you don't have to go fishing for armor incense anymore. Your family will have a good life in the future. Wait, I'll be back soon." As Old Wang spoke, he ran to a box at the side and took out a few things from it. Then, he climbed to the highest lookout spot and lit the things up. Fireworks exploded in the sky one after another. "Uncle, are those the fireworks they were talking about? They're so beautiful. It would look even better at night. Uncle, why did you light those things?" Little Tao heard the noise and looked out of the window. He saw fireworks exploding in the sky. The noise was so loud that it woke up Uncle Little Stone, who was sleeping. "Old Wang, what are you doing? Did you encounter something you can't handle? Can't you let people sleep?" As soon as Little Tao's voice faded away, Little Stone's voice rang out. "Sleep, sleep. What else can you do besides sleep? Get up and cook. We found a treasure. Hurry up, I'll give you a share of the credit." Old Wang kicked Little Stone and Little Stone's families. Then, he turned to Little Tao and said, "In the future, you'll work in the Chamber of Commerce and teach more people your ability. The Chamber of Commerce will give you a lot of money so you don't have to worry about your family. Are you willing? Working in Lu Zhou's Chamber of Commerce?" "Yes, I'm willing. I've heard that working in Lu Zhou's Chamber of Commerce pays a lot. I'll work for 20 copper coins a day." Little Tao nodded repeatedly. Even though he knew the price of armor incense and could earn a lot in a day, he still decided to work in Lu Zhou's Chamber of Commerce. He did not have to worry about being bullied. "It's not 20 copper coins. If your ability is real, you can earn 200 copper coins a day. It's definitely more than you can earn by fishing for armor incense." Lao Wang had already treated Xiao Tao as a treasure. If everyone in the Chamber of Commerce could learn this ability, then no matter if they encountered danger in the future or did work, they would become more powerful. No wonder the two of them were able to swim here last night. It turned out that there was a capable young man. Confused, Little Shatu asked again. When he heard that Xiao Tao could swim to a depth of 300 feet, he didn't feel sleepy anymore. He got up and began to prepare the meal. It just so happened that new ingredients had arrived. In less than an hour, 6 dishes and a bowl of soup were ready. The yellow wine was also cooked for Xiao Tao and his son to eat. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan still didn't know that they had found a treasure in the farthest lighthouse. Now, the two of them took time out every day to play with their younger brother and sister. The 4 little fellows were eating and sleeping. They were rarely energetic. Even if they were held in their arms, they would fall asleep after a while. Wang Wan hugged Zhang Xiaobao's younger brother and asked Zhang Xiaobao, "Xiaobao, how are we going to teach them to speak? Do we have to wait until they're a few months old?" "No, we can do it now. Although they can't speak now, they can listen. As long as they can hear the voices of adults often, it'll be fine. It's best if they can hold something and keep repeating the name of that thing. The more interested they are, the better it is. When they want to play, keep saying the name of that thing. If they aren't congenitally stupid and wait for their vocal cords to grow, they will naturally say the name of something they want. The simplest way is to let them call their mother. This voice is the best to imitate. Zhang Xiaobao's body swayed back and forth. The younger sister in his arms closed her eyes and fell asleep. That's it. My younger brother and sister aren't stupid. They will definitely be able to speak earlier. Xiaobao, I remember that in the past, when there were children at home who wanted to pee, the adults used 2 people to hold the children's legs. Why do we have to let them pee on the mat now? Wang Wan changed her younger sister's mat. She wanted to imitate the way she used to let her younger brothers and sisters pee. Zhang Xiaobao immediately said, "No, this won't do. Those children are actually a little older. If they are so small now, their bones won't be able to take it. They have to use this mat. When they can walk, we can slowly let them train. Don't train them to walk now. Just teach them to roll. For example, they can sit up, keep rolling, and crawl. They are not like the 2 of us. They don't know their own body condition when they are more than 10 months old and can adjust. They don't know. If they are not careful, they will be done for." "Ah, there's such a thing? Then let them continue to pee on the mat. But there is no washing machine. It will take a lot of effort to wash them. We have to change them many times a day." Wang Wan had raised children before. How would she know this? Zhang Xiaobao learned this when he was in the orphanage. There were often children who were thrown away by their parents as soon as they were born. It was not because they were disabled, but because the parents seemed to be unable to have children. When they were 16 or 17 years old, they had children. Some were aborted, while others did not know what to do and secretly gave birth to them. If they were children who went to school, it would be easy to find out. It was also impossible to take such a long leave of absence. If they took a leave of absence, their families had to know. However, some children stopped studying and went to work. In the end, those children were taken care of by the older children in the orphanage. After all, there were too few staff members. Zhang Xiaobao learned this from that time. "You 2 are here? What a coincidence." Just as Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were talking about how to take care of the children, Li Sun came in from outside. Now, he came to see the 4 little guys every day. He discussed with them about letting him take care of them. He was rejected every time, but he never changed his mind. "How is it? Didn't you go to train the remaining 2,000 people? How's the training?" Zhang Xiaobao gently pushed his sister in the cradle and asked Li Sun. "Do you even need to ask? The people I teach are not bad. Really. If you don't believe me, you can go and take a look. I'll take care of the children for a while." Li Sun was about to reach out to Wang Wan's brother, but was hit back. He rubbed his hands and said, 2,000 people don't seem to be enough. Wait until we have a firm foothold there. Even if the imperial court sends troops to protect us, they can't send troops from the capital. If we don't train well here, we may not have a chance. That's a good place. As long as other people know about it, they will think of ways to get it. The best way is, of course, smuggling. That is, under the name of the military escorting the goods, we can secretly transport the goods back and sell them without paying the tax. This can't happen. Otherwise, once they develop a habit, they will do the same when they go to other places in the future. Zhang Xiaobao knew that Li Sun would not do anything even if he was there. All he would do was watch. There was no need for him to be involved in the training. There were 3,000 men in total. Logically speaking, it was not a small number. However, they had to be a fighting force. Otherwise, even though Lu Zhou had found the place first, he would still have to send his men there first. It was easy for other people to think about it. When the time came, they could send soldiers who could fight over there. They could find a reason to say that it was a competition. If their people won, it would be fine. If they lost, they could let others take over the task of guarding. The military did not do business, so naturally, they did not have to pay any tax. Besides, they were the inspectors themselves. When the time came, they would definitely secretly transport the goods here. If that was all, it would not be a big deal. They would just transport the goods. However, they might not only transport the goods but also deliberately lower the price in order to sell the goods faster. Without the tax, as long as the tax was lowered, other normal people and merchants would not be able to bear it. Therefore, this matter had to be stopped. Otherwise, it would cause a lot of trouble. Li Sun listened quietly to Zhang Xiaobao's analysis. After listening to him, he began to worry. He said, "What if a prince or a marquis gets involved? That is, if people from your mansion go to get the goods and then come back to make a fortune, the price of the goods in the capital will be affected." Li Sun was indeed very worried. It was too easy to find a reason to go there. It was just like when he went to Luzhou. Who would care about him? If a prince or a marquis really got involved, then it would be troublesome. They could not send the army to intercept them, could they? Zhang Xiaobao had already considered this problem and said to Li Sun, "This is easy to handle. Right now, we are taking the most direct route, and the ships they use are not all good ships. In the future, we will first earn a sum of money, then we will start to take a detour. If they can find the way by themselves, then that is their ability. If they can't find it, then don't think about going there. The merchants in the east of Jiangnan will be treated the same. Let them provide the ships, and we will send people to help them row. We will take a detour and not let them find the way first. If we want to do this, then we must take over the task of guarding. Otherwise, we won't dare to let them take a detour." Li Sun understood now. In the end, it was still about the army. After thinking for a moment, he said, "Then I'll ask my father to send more people. They have all been trained. I believe they can do it well." "That won't do. How can the people of the prince's mansion go out casually? It's better to train our own people. Besides, we can control them now. When we are all gone, will Lu Zhou's army not have any fighting strength? I have a good idea, and that is to wait for the first 1,000 people to occupy the place, then have them come back. Then, send another 1,000 people, and take turns going back and forth. When the people arrive at the place, they will think of ways to rob the local people, especially those who are hostile to us. Don't worry, give them better weapons and better defense. If they're injured, heal them. If they die, there's nothing we can do about it. How can there be no deaths in war? That's why we need to train our 2,000 people." Zhang Xiaobao finally used another plan on Li Sun. If something happened, he could help to take the blame. As expected, when Li Sun heard Zhang Xiaobao keep emphasizing the army, he frowned and said, "It's easy to talk about other things, but it's not easy. Where are we going to find so many weapons and armors? The imperial court won't send them here. We can make them ourselves, but I'm afraid someone won't let us." As soon as Zhang Xiaobao said that, Wang Wan understood. He was looking for an excuse to make weapons, but he still needed the approval of the imperial court. Li Sun pursed his lips and said, "I knew you guys were up to no good." "As expected, that's the case." All right, since you're going to make weapons, you can make them first." "I'll write a letter to the higher-ups. We can't let the army here be without weapons, right? When the time comes, we can just register it with the higher-ups." Li Sun was no longer the person who was fooled. He had become very shrewd. After listening to Zhang Xiaobao's words, he connected the dots and knew what Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan meant. Both of them had all kinds of craftsmen in their families. Was it not easy for them to make some weapons? What's more, there was no lack of resources here. They were just afraid of taking responsibility and needed a legitimate excuse. If it was someone else, Li Sun would definitely reject it. After all, weapons could not be casually made. Even if someone was secretly making weapons, it was fine if it was the Zhang family. The technology submitted by the Zhang family happened to be used for war, so it was normal to make weapons. With this kind of confidence, Li Sun agreed so readily. He laughed with Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. This was another kind of agreement. The three of them discussed for a while more before Li Sun left. Zhang Xiaobao also instructed his men to bring the matter of weapon manufacturing to the surface. There was no need to secretly manufacture weapons anymore. As soon as Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan finished their work, the farthest lighthouse sent the news. After the lighthouse found out that Xiao Tao could dive so deep and release the fireworks, they immediately began to make some preparations. When the patrol boat saw the signal, they quickly sent the patrol boat back. They also sent Xiao Tao and his son to the boat and brought them back together. The patrol boat's speed of transmitting the news was very fast. There were pigeons on the boat and they directly flew. A normal boat would take more than half a month to reach the lighthouse, but if the pigeons flew, it would take less than a day. That's great, we've finally found a better talent. Who would have thought that we would have such a person here? Amazing, Xiaobao said happily after receiving the news. Wang Wan was also happy. If they could dive so deep, they would be able to train more people. That would be even more useful. The two of them did not doubt this matter. In the past, there were people who were specially trained to dive to deeper places. It was just that the method was not easy to master. They did not expect that someone here would be able to learn it by himself. In fact, it was very simple. The principle was to let people adjust their heartbeat and movements. When they went underwater, they would be able to distribute oxygen to the places that needed it. For example, the brain, heart, and other parts of the body. The other parts would only be temporarily deprived of oxygen. In this way, this method would allow people to use oxygen more reasonably after taking a breath and hold on for a longer time. The principle was simple, but it was too difficult to implement, especially when it came to controlling one's body. Even Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan could not do it, but the people here could. It was really extraordinary. I've decided. I'll give him better treatment. I'll even set up a department for him to do this. When the time comes, his family will be brought to Luzhou as well. They won't have to stay in other places anymore. Zhang Xiaobao made up his mind. He had to keep a talent like this. He could not advertise it now. When more people learned this method, he would let others know how the Zhang family treated talented people. This talent was not only limited to writing and other knowledge, but it also included skills in other areas. Zhang Xiaobao believed that in this era, there were more talented craftsmen who were buried. They did not pass down their skills. In the end, some special skills were lost in the long river of history. That would be a loss to the entire Chinese nation. Wang Wan understood Zhang Xiaobao's thoughts. She also wanted her country to be strong. She touched the note that was sent back and said, "Grow up quickly. When the time comes, the Tang Dynasty will be at its peak. We'll talk to Li Longji. What do you think we should do to stop him from being so muddle-headed when the time comes? It's simple. As long as he keeps fighting, he'll be spirited. I already have a plan for that. There's no need to think about it now. We haven't reached that level yet." Zhang Xiaobao had a plan for the future. After thinking for a while, he said, "Now, I've decided to start dealing with the Ning clan. We can't just let them attack us once and then not fight back. That's not our style of doing things. Since they've attacked us, we have to be prepared to receive the counterattack." That's right. Counterattack. Should we capture the people from the Five Lakes Merchant Association and get them to correct us? The seal they used should be fake. Could it be dumping? Causing Qinzhou's economy to collapse? Wang Wan waved her little fist. She realized that she didn't have any good ideas to deal with the Ning family. That won't do. It's not that we can't destroy Qinzhou's economy. It's very easy to deal with an economy that's based on exploitation. It's too simple. We can just directly attack the food supply. What about the commoners? This time, I'm prepared to use my trickery to target the Ning family. It won't affect the commoners too much. This poor Taoist is going to break his precepts. Amen. Zhang Xiaobao found a powerful talent and was in a good mood. He was prepared to make the Ning family unhappy. Wang Wan laughed softly. "What are you talking about? Are you going to send people to find them and tell them that you'll give them benefits so that they can be easily fooled?" No. That kind of trickery is too low. This time, I'm going to show you the highest level of trickery. I'm going to send people to be tricked. Zhang Xiaobao smiled Wei Wei. Wang Wan blinked her big eyes as she looked at Zhang Xiaobao. What she liked the most was Zhang Xiaobao's current appearance. Even though he had the body of a child, whenever Zhang Xiaobao made a move, especially when it came to trickery, she would discover that Zhang Xiaobao had a unique aura around him. That kind of supercilious appearance gave off the feeling that he was the only one in the world. Chapter 532. Candle, Candle. Wang Wan held a candle in her hand and kept talking to the 4 little fellows in the arms of the maidservants. The 4 little fellows were full of curiosity. Their eyes looked at Wang Wan, and then looked at the thing in her hand. Their little arms waved back and forth, and saliva flowed down from the corners of their mouths. Their mouths made all kinds of different sounds, but none of them made people feel comfortable. Zhang Xiaobao sat at the side. He did not care about Wang Wan. The children were a little small, and it was not bad to strengthen them without listening. He did not expect them to really say the word candle as long as they listened. After repeating the same word countless times, the children finally became impatient. 2 of them directly cried, one looked at the candle in a daze, and the other fell asleep. Well, that's it for today. We will continue tomorrow. Wang Wan was very satisfied. After saying this, she handed her brother and sister to the maidservants and left, pulling Zhang Xiaobao out. Zhang Xiaobao was also sleepy. He yawned and admired Wang Wan's persistence. Xiaobao, can you think of a way to make them learn faster? Wang Wan seemed to be not so sure about success. No, if it was us at that time, it would not reach that level here. What way? Why haven't I heard of it? Wang Wan asked curiously. Zhang Xiaobao yawned again. Others have already done it. It's just using pictures. When the child's hand touches a picture, the name of the thing in the picture will appear, and it will be strengthened continuously. That kind of thing won't work. It will be eaten by the child. It can also be made into a physical object. The outside is wrapped with a non-toxic material, and the child can play with it. As long as the child touches it, the inside will produce a sound. Many people can't afford it. It's a problem of cost. Zhang Xiaobao gave another example of a very useful toy. Wang Wan really had not seen it before. She looked at Zhang Xiaobao doubtfully. How high is the cost? 100 yuan each? It's about the same. The materials must be able to be bitten by the child, and they must not be poisonous. They must not be afraid of falling or soaking. It's about 100 yuan each. The difference is the size. A set of a few hundred toys can be thrown to the child, or the child can learn them one by one. The production cost is more than 100 yuan. How much do you think the sales price will be? Ordinary families simply can't afford a toy that costs more than 100,000 yuan. Therefore, this thing can only go high-end. Zhang Xiaobao drew a number 5 with his hand, which meant that a toy that cost 100 yuan would cost at least 500 yuan in the hands of a child. How much would a few hundred toys cost? Wang Wan tried hard to recall and shook her head. Why haven't I seen such a toy? Is my family not high-end enough? Shouldn't the gift giver give me a few sets? That's because this thing hasn't been put on the market yet. Before we came, the newly upgraded product was the one that could play animations and explain every plant and animal. I reckon that now the children in the orphanage can play with it. It's the kind of toy that has satellite tracking and can be used to make direct calls. The cost is 50 yuan more. Zhang Xiaobao's face showed a trace of pride, and the corners of his mouth curled up into a Wei smile. Now Wang Wan understood. She stared at Zhang Xiaobao and asked, You made it? You gave it to the children in the orphanage first? Of course, who else would I give it to if not them? It's not expensive, only 150 yuan each. A set can let many children play at the same time. If any of them get lost when they go out for a stroll, they can find it with the satellite tracking. Zhang Xiaobao probably felt that this kind of thing was the happiest thing for him, and the smile on his face became even brighter. Wang Wan also laughed and asked doubtfully, "So what if there's a satellite tracking on this thing? What if it gets kidnapped? Once it's thrown away, it'll be over." "How can it be thrown away? There are all kinds of additives on it. Children like it. Even if they get lost, they won't lose the toy. It hasn't appeared on the market yet, so others don't know. Maybe it can help to deal with some bad guys. I'm talking about the function of the toy, not the problem of whether it gets lost or not. If it gets lost, it'll be thrown away. One of my funds specializes in this kind of thing. It's to find people who kidnap and sell children. If they find them, they'll directly deal with them. If children can be lost, what's the big deal about a few people dying? The police can't even find the kidnapped children. How can they find the murderer?" Zhang Xiaobao's smile didn't change, but Wang Wan felt a kind of biting cold. At this time, she remembered again what kind of person Zhang Xiaobao was. He was obviously a paranoid person. Usually, he was good, but as long as his bottom line was crossed, there was only one result, and that was to directly destroy the body through various means. According to the normal law, such a person should be shot 1,000 times, but according to morality, anyone who was killed by him deserved to die. If there really was a God in this world, perhaps it wouldn't be good to judge him. When his bloody hand gently comforted the child's face, the contrast was indescribable. Wang Wan sighed inwardly. In the end, she didn't say anything and silently walked out of the courtyard. Zhang Xiaobao, on the other hand, was deep in thought as he followed behind her. When the two of them walked out of the courtyard, he stopped and said, "It's time for your clothing design and manufacturing company to expand. We can use our younger brother and sister to promote it. Also, use the beautiful clothes made by Lu Zhou's other children and give them free of charge. Send a batch back to Zhuangzi. There should be a lot of children born in Zhuangzi. You want to use our younger brother and sister to make money." Wang Wan stopped and stared at Zhang Xiaobao. "Yes, give them advertising fees and save it up. When they are a little more sensible, tell them that this is the money they earned and should be used by them. It should be enough when they are about 6 or 7 years old. It's a good time to cultivate their independence. At the same time, we can also see what they think when they are at that age. No matter what they do with the money, I won't care. Let them say it directly. It doesn't matter even if they give it all to a pitiful liar." Zhang Xiaobao said seriously. He wanted to cultivate his younger brother and sister. They were not the kind of good-for-nothings who were always afraid of falling in his hands. He wanted to cultivate their own character from a young age. It was nothing more than accidentally suffering a few losses. As long as children could get better things after suffering a few losses, there was no need to worry about it. They could be sad quickly, but they could also be happy quickly. Then it's up to you. I always feel that it's not good to push them out at such a young age. It's obvious that you are using them. Wang Wan still couldn't agree. There are many things that can be used. I was used to help other donors. At that time, I was sincerely helping. At least I got something. What's more, it's different now. I won't let them appear in the teeth of the storm. In the future, it will depend on their own interests and then adjust. It doesn't matter whether they are famous or not. Let's go, the plan can be carried out. It can't be free anymore. The editor came to me. Next time, I will discuss with the editor first. Today, I will adjust it for 1 day, tomorrow another day, and the day after tomorrow it will be restored. It can't be free anymore. In the future, I will write more words per chapter. It was about to be cancelled. He had to adjust it properly. Thank you for your support. Recommended book. Mang Zhozhuli Yu is addicted to poetry, drunk and dreaming. Zhao Kuangyin's cavalry has trampled half of China, intending to lead the army to the south. After crossing over, Li Shao improved the craft of frying tea and pioneered the teapot making. 1 poem shocked the world. 3 essays determined the rivers and mountains. How can a small person rewrite history and plan the world? Chapter 533. It was August, and new seedlings were sown on the ground. The mountain streams were clear and long. The hawking on the streets never stopped, and the fishing boats returned with laughter. When the people invested all their energy and passion in building their homes, the power they felt was unimaginable. In just a year, Luzhou had returned to its prosperous state after the disaster. The grains were collected, and they did not have to pay any rent or tax. The people had more spare cash in their hands, and they began to shop enthusiastically. The houses were free, and they did not have to save money for the houses. The ducks and pigs at home saved the people from having to buy meat. They were well-behaved, and they knew honor and disgrace. At this moment, Luzhou's people were beginning to seek better material and spiritual enjoyment. It was time to repay the Zhang family for their efforts. The goods were bought one after another. The Zhang family earned more profits from collecting local specialties, and the yamen earned more money as well. Zhang Zhong did not have to use his own family's money for the construction. He used the money collected by the yamen on the basic construction, such as planting fruit trees and building a fishing pond. Then, he rented out the land for the long term. The construction was done quickly, and the renting was done quickly as well. The merchants from other places did not have time to react. Most of the good land was rented out, and the Zhang family was the only one who rented it. The merchants who joined the Chamber of Commerce from other places did not object. They rented some land as well. The local people did not object. They supported whatever the Zhang family wanted to do. The good land should be given to the Zhang family. Only the Zhang family could earn more money and bring more benefits to the people. The others wanted to object, but it was too late. Even if they knew the Zhang family would take advantage of them through such means. Amidst the bustling Luzhou, Zhang Xiaobao made his move. The Zhang family's Chamber of Commerce rented land from the surrounding areas. It did not matter what kind of land it was, whether it was high grade, middle grade, or low grade. The rent was higher than the usual rent. It was a yearly rent. The condition was that the land would be rented for 50 years. If they agreed, the Zhang family would pay to rent the land. The local yamen would not interfere. Even if the land was idle, they would still pay to rent the land. After the news was spread, the Zhang family began to prepare a large amount of cotton seeds. It gave people the impression that the Zhang family was going to plant a bai tizi. The surrounding prefectures all began to move, and they could find unused land everywhere. After Old Man Chong and Old Man Pai found out about this, they gathered together to discuss and called Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to the nursing home. Nowadays, if someone wanted to discuss something with the Zhang family or the Wang family, they would first look for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Looking for Zhang Zhong was more formal. Old Man Pai didn't want to talk too much with Zhang Zhong, even though he had done a lot for Zhang Zhong behind the scenes. Xiaobao, what is your family trying to do? Are you going to let the imperial court deal with the Zhang family? Old Man Pai appeared to be very unhappy. He called Zhang Xiaobao over to his side and questioned him. Why do you want to deal with my family? My family has given the imperial court a lot of benefits. Zhang Xiaobao looked at Old Man Pai in confusion. Wang Wan nodded as well. That's right. We used our own money to build Luzhou, and we're using the imperial court's name. Wouldn't the imperial court be a fool if they want to deal with us? Old Man Pai suddenly felt that the two little fellows were not as smart as they used to be. In the past, they were always quick to understand. What was wrong with them today? He suppressed his impatience and said, "The imperial court has no choice but to deal with you. They can't stand the pressure. Tell me, what is your family trying to do? Is it renting land in another province?" "Of course, we're going to plant it," Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan replied in unison. "I don't care about the land. I want to know what you're going to plant. Where's the person in charge of your family? Why don't you think about it? Zhang Zhong is going to leave Luzhou soon. The reason he's here is to deal with the infrastructure you mentioned. Once the lives of the people are better and the land is built, it's time for him to leave. I reckon the news will reach Luzhou before the arrival of the new year." The Ning family of Qin province is eyeing you covetously from the sidelines. Instead of restraining yourself, you're giving others something to use against you. Renting land? Who would rent land to you? And you're renting it for 50 years? Are you stupid? The more Old Man Pai thought about it, the angrier he got. It was as though Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were the ones who came up with the idea. He vented all the anger in his heart on the two of them. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not feel wronged at all. After all, Zhang Xiaobao was the one who came up with the idea. The two of them were very touched. They had a grandfather who knew a lot of things and cared for them behind the scenes. This was a blessing that many people could only dream of. Grandpa Bai, it seems like you and Grandpa Zhang know that as long as we rent land, the land given to us by the other provinces will be of the worst quality. If we rent it out for 10% more, they'll take the remaining 10%. Zhang Xiaobao said. Old Man Pai was stunned for a moment before he nodded in agreement. Also, Grandpa Bai and Grandpa Zhang are worried that the Ning family is deliberately renting more land to us so that we can plant cotton. After all, we're starting to plant cotton seeds now. They'll find a way to impeach us. Planting cotton in large quantities occupies the farmland. Even if it's the worst farmland, even if it's saline alkali soil, they'll still find a reason to do so. Zhang Xiaobao continued. Old Man Chong and Old Man Wang nodded again. The two of them realized that the Zhang family understood. They didn't need others to remind them, but they didn't know why they were doing this. At this time, Wang Wan interrupted. We're about to leave. We should understand the situation first. This time, we didn't send the news or send people to Qinzhou. Whether the land is rented or not has nothing to do with Qinzhou. The Ning family has no right to impeach us. If Ning Zhongze wants to impeach us, Grandpa Zhang and Grandpa Bai, what do you think we should do? What else can we do? Of course, we'll rent more land to you. Once you plant cotton, we'll immediately impeach you. The Ning family has been trying to deal with you for a long time. You're taking the initiative to let them deal with you. Did you plan this all along? As Old Man Pai spoke, he suddenly realized something. Since the Zhang family brought up this matter that both of them knew, could it be that the Zhang family wasn't prepared? Old Man Chong was also stunned. He looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, waiting for them to explain. Wang Wan was the person she was most proud of. Zhang Xiaobao didn't lose his reputation as an international swindler. When he didn't do anything, he looked easy to bully, but when he did, he definitely wouldn't give others a chance. Everything was linked. Looking at Old Man Chong and Old Man Pai's eyes, Wang Wan smiled and said, Yes, it's time to deal with the Ning family. Grandpa Zhang, Grandpa Bai, do you know what the highest level of swindling is? What is it? So that others can't see that they've been swindled? Old Man Chong replied, No. Wang Wan shook her head. Of course the swindled person can't see it. Otherwise, how could they be swindled? Then is it because they can't do anything after being swindled? Old Man Pai had played politics before, so he thought this was the point. No. Wang Wan shook her head again. If you can't catch them after being swindled, of course you can't do anything. Who doesn't know how to run? Old Man Chong and Old Man Pai pondered at the same time. After thinking for a while, they really couldn't think of anything, so they shook their heads at the same time. Wang Wan put her hands behind her back, walked back and forth in front of the two people a few times, and said, The highest level of swindling is to make others take the initiative to be swindled. After being swindled once, they still have to take the initiative to be swindled again. How is that possible? Do you think we're all idiots? Old Man Chong was the first to not believe it. I knew Grandpa Zhang and Grandpa Bai wouldn't believe it. It's okay, just wait and see. When the time comes, we'll know. Wang Wan pretended to be mysterious and said, Then can't you tell us first? Old Man Pai was really curious. Renting a piece of land? Could it be that the two masters of the Zhang family were able to swindle people into the house, and swindle them over and over again? Do you want to continue like before? I can't say. I definitely can't say. If I say it, it won't be fun. Grandpa Zhang, Grandpa Bai, don't worry. We're not so bad that we can't even consider such a small matter. It will be very interesting. Xiao Bao and I have to go back and take care of our younger siblings. After Wang Wan finished speaking, she didn't wait for the two old men to ask any more questions. She pulled Zhang Xiaobao and left. After leaving the courtyard, Wang Wan pondered over Zhang Xiaobao's plan. Suddenly, she felt that something was wrong. She grabbed Zhang Xiaobao. Xiaobao, you made a plan just to trap the Ning family? It can't be that simple, right? I never said it was that simple. No matter how powerful the Ning family is, it's not worth it for me to specially make a plan for them. They don't deserve it. Let's go. You'll know in the future. Zhang Xiaobao winked, pulled Wang Wan, and left. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.